FOMO can lead to significant anxiety and stress, often resulting in impulsive decisions.
What someone won't do for you, someone else will.
You can't change anybody else. And in fact, it causes more chaos.
The separation from that partner starts internally first before it manifests into the physical.
Just observe, people are going to show you who they are.
And if somebody who does really love you, they're going to want the same thing for you that you want for yourself. It's called the best interest at heart.
You just have to have control over yourself and be able to recognize these different fears and these different thoughts are going to come up. But do you have the ability to redirect yourself?
Yeah. So obviously we've all experienced FOMO in our lives for one way or another. You pushing forward and getting married, and when you knew you wasn't supposed to, right? You allowing that space and opportunity to be let down in previous relationships. You making excuses to get out of situations because you didn't want the choke chain on your neck. Where's the reflection? Where's the self-reflection moving forward so that you're not doing these things? It's self-harm. At the end of the day, FOMO is self-harm. Welcome to the Alpha Body Network, where we foster the vision of nurturing your mind, body, and soul. The premier hub for enriching content. Join our sponsor athletes and visionary leaders as they guide you through the art of overcoming obstacles, self-discovery, and forming impactful relationships. Get ready to explore, evolve, and unleash your personal greatness with Alpha Body Network. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. This is the P.U.S.H podcast, where we restore the dedication to learning oneself and contributing wisdom to societies far and wide through self-growth and service of others. I'm your host, Lost Judah, and today we have a thought-provoking episode lined up for you. Today we'll be exploring the concept of FOMO, or fear of missing out, and how it affects our decision-making, mental health, and overall well-being in relationships. To start, we will hear from our guests about their personal definitions of FOMO and how they believe it manifests in life and relationships. But before we get started, let's take a minute to introduce our guests.
I'm a mixed martial artist, went pro last year, as well as a musician. Music's just always been a thing to me, but I'm here to have fun and see what the talk is about.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Glad to have you here, Elijah.
Absolutely.
I'm Anastasia, and I study psychology. I also serve medicine and a couple of other things.
Awesome.
I'm Karen. I am ex-Army. I was a sergeant for 9 years, and now I'm in the construction industry as a single mother and just trying to thrive the best I can in this life.
How y'all doing? My name is Aaron Paris. Go by Paris Michaels. I'm 32 years old, originally from Brooklyn. I am producer. I make beats. I'm starting to get into entertainment, making skits right now, but it's a pleasure to be on this podcast, though.
Awesome. Happy to have you here, Brooklyn. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right in. So can each of you share a personal definition of FOMO and how you believe it manifests in your life and relationships?
Well, it's just about fear, I guess, not being in peace, just fear of missing out. So not really feeling content on your present moment or even secure in your choices.
I guess my definition is basically you're in a relationship, you're trying to succeed to another stepping stone in your life, just to aim to reach a goal, and then your partner's probably feeling that she's going to be missing out because if you continue going, then she's not coming there because she has nothing to, provide in a way, or just having a fear that you're going to leave her back.
Indeed.
Or vice versa.
Right, vice versa.
That makes a lot of sense. I like how you said that, but I would also say it would possibly mean fear of missing out, being in the wrong relationship, and and you having so much goals, you know what I mean, and trying to conquer them, and fear of do I stick with this person, because sometimes it can get deep on who you're with, why you're with them, who they actually are. Energies work in different many ways. I feel personally that sometimes you can fumble the bag. I'm gonna say it in a simpler form, but it's deeper than that. Having dreams and things to accomplish, and making the wrong moves or being in relationships, because it is something that is natural, you know, first to be with people. But sometimes, like from what I learned and understood, that being in love can lead you down a very dark hole sometimes, you know what I mean? But I feel like once one also balance coming to their complete self and understanding themselves, that's one of the things, and being positive, those things start to attract other things. And I feel like those things coincide with the person you end up with, you know what I mean? And you never know who would it be. That's in my opinion, if you're not listening to what my friend said here. I'm sorry, I'm not going to lie, I was a little earlier, but now I see what's going on. But I'm good to hear it. I'm happy. So, hey, I had to listen a little bit. You know, God is here, you know.
Right. How has your understanding of FOMO evolved over time?
I mean, for me, like, I feel like as you get older, and especially with social media, you see what it looks like everyone else just doing so well and having things or experiences, and you feel like, am I behind? Should I be at this point in my life? Should I be making more money? Should I be doing this and that? It makes you feel like, instead of being content of where you're at, you feel like, oh, I should be doing better. And you feel like you're missing out because other people are taking these vacations or whatever it is, and they're with their significant other. And you're like, I still haven't found the one yet. It gets hard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Real talk.
That makes a lot of sense.
Brooklyn, I see you clapping over there too. That must have hit you a little extra hard.
It's like, you know,
she has some valid points right
she
there.
She did have a valid point, because it's like you could be in a relationship and missing out. To me, is like, say you want to leave, and not even want to leave, you just on your journey, you're going forward with it. But say if you did leave, is it the right time to leave? Right. Now you got to really commit yourself to a brand new person. Relearn them. Relearn the pros and cons about them. Do they like blue? Do they like grapes?
Precisely.
Is their personality?
That can kind of be draining,
like,
right?
I mean, do you know I like Dragon Ball Z. Get me my Dragon Ball Z socks when you see him. Surprise me with it. Like, it's all that goes in your mind. And this person probably, if they on that already and really on point with that, but depends on how you want to, you know, move forward with it.
No, absolutely. Yeah, but brings back to what she said. I agree with you on that. You know, I have found myself sometimes scrolling through social media, or just, you know, influences of friends around me who may, you know, have their wild moments, or, you know, celebrating things, their accomplishments, and you just feeling like you kind of like stuck, and that moment hasn't arrived for you, and like you kind of question yourself, like, am I doing the right things, or am I spending the right time in the things that, you know, is trying to that's helping me to get to where I need to get to. Right. So yeah, that kind of, you know, I resonated with that, with what you said, you know, kind of like comparing yourself. And I think FOMO is really big on that, like comparing your lifestyle to other people's lifestyles, you know, with the relationship aspect, things like that. And for me personally, I want to just speak to everybody that's in the crowd and everybody that's listening online. You know, your process is yours alone, and you should never compare yourself to another person, because you can lose yourself in that. And what I mean by that is that it can set you back. It can hinder you. It can hold you in a space where, you know, you conjuring up a lot of negative energy, and you kind of like, you like suffocating yourself in a pillow, in a sense. So focus on you, focus on your journey, and keep moving forward. You know, what is for you is definitely for you in this life, and nobody else can get in the way of that or take that away from you. So for personal experience with me, you know, I had to learn to get outside of societal norms, focus on me and what I wanted, and who I wanted to be, and how I wanted to show up in my life. And when I started to do that and starve the distractions, is when I started to have my own personal breakthroughs. And then, you know, what resonated, or what happened, what transpired from that was, you know, my own personal accomplishments, me starting to have my own, you know, triumphs and my championship moments, so to speak, right? So when you focus a lot less on what other people are doing, or what other influence around you are doing, then you have more time to focus on you and get to what it is that you truly want for yourself. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. FOMO often arises from comparing ourselves to others and feeling that we might be missing out on rewarding experiences or relationships. How has this type of comparison impacted your decision-making in relationships? Have you ever stayed in or left a relationship because of this fear or of missing out or something better?
If understanding what you're saying right now, Judah. Like I've had experience to where I've been in those the situation of it. Like I said, kind of in the previous, I looped through that of, do I still be with this person? Do I not? You know what I mean?
Right,
Being 18, being just dedicated, disciplined. It just made something. You know what I mean? I just always thought who I want to be in the future. Like, I'm still young, mind you, at the time, but it was just something that was in me. You know what I mean? Like, wasn't really much on social media, and I don't know. I just always thought about the future as far as the setup, but most things I have been going through was the flip side of that. And I think it does vary. This FOMO thing does vary with gender, because I would say that to tie it on the other end of it, I've had relationships to where women were in fear because they didn't understand what pretty much he was saying, being free. It might look different. It might work different. You know what I mean? Until you finally get it. It's like being connected with nature, loving, being simple, being humble. Like you said, some of that social media or having that type of fear does put you in a box, but not caring, just being free and doing what you love from your heart and loving others, having a compassionate heart, it makes something else. So tying back to what he said, I had women fear. I had women in that fear, and then leaving me believing, not believing me. You know what I mean? Now we're here to speak about these things, and yeah. I'm sorry, like Judah said, you know, it's just getting a little deep here.
No, right.
But
Go
like
ahead.
Judah said, you know what I mean? Like, it works both ways, and it varies from gender, you know what I mean? One person will be at one end, but all of this just ties back to shame, in my opinion, you know what I mean? The fear, shame thing. And a lot of times, you know what I mean, it varies from gender, or even influence of what beauty is, or this and that. Those are all influence regardless, you know what I mean? Like, no disrespect, you know, I'm Central American Belize. You look at the Mayan culture, cross-eyed is considered beautiful, you know what I mean, godlike, you know what I'm trying to say? So it comes back to just tying back to your true nature, and it will set you free in various ways, even tying back to accomplishing and achieving your spontaneous fulfillment of destiny. Whatever you really want to accomplish, you will, because it is you. You're going to go with what is you naturally, and you're going to do that naturally, you know what I mean? And the love, the relationships, like you said, it just ties back to a lot of influences, you know, and I'm gonna just leave it short there.
Right.
Kind of touch bases.
No, I understand what you're saying. So you basically speaking on like societal norms. You know, we have the pressures of the world around us. You know, people believing that, oh, you're supposed to, as soon as you graduate, you get married, you had a family, you know, you had a successful career, and it just doesn't show up like that. Absolutely not. And then you get people stuck in those, you know, well, this is how my life is supposed to go, and it doesn't show up that way. So they kind of like lose themselves mentally.
Man.
In a lot of different ways. I've had friends who are literally like, man, I'm supposed to go to the NBA, and I'm supposed to do this, and I'm supposed to have 3 kids, and I'm supposed to marry this type of woman with blue eyes and long hair, and that shit just is out the window.
The key words.
And now you like suffocating and you tripped out, right? And then on the flip side, you have the woman who believing that, you know, she's supposed to have the big, strong guy, and he must be making 6 figures, and you know, no stress, and every day is sunshine and rainbows, and then they get tripped up because that's just totally not it. You know, they in their process of becoming and working hard, and you know, a lot of the situations we could speak on, but I'm not gonna go too deep in on that. But I'm curious on what everybody else.
Now, I'm gonna tie into what both of y'all actually just said, because what you're saying about relationships, it could go to the point is your friends and the circles that you have around. Like how you say you have friends that, oh, I needed to go to the NFL, or I was this NBA player, but look at the people that you had around. They was wearing a fake mask, like a fake persona, basically. You know what I mean? Trying to tie it to society, like I gotta act like this or be like this person, or this is my circle, let me be like them. But they not even thinking of moving forward in their life.
Right.
And it could tie down to your significant other or not. It could be a girlfriend or whatever the terms is at the time.
Right.
If they don't ever got the mentality to want to do more, that's going to bring you back too as well, because they fear of missing out is basically them putting their own flaws on you, or
putting their own fear of missing out, struggles and things on you. So they're projecting that onto you, and that's not even your stuff. Right.
That's why it's so important to find someone that's really by your side and just a ride or die, and someone that supports you. And I think that's why a lot of people want to be in a relationship, is having someone that they could talk to and be supportive of their dreams. And, you know, like, should I go back to college? Should I go finish my degree and things like that? Because you look to turn to someone, and when you don't have that, either if you're not in a relationship or if you're in a relationship and you have someone that doesn't communicate and they don't care, it's like, it makes you feel a little bit lost in life. And, you know, and that's where you're missing out. Like, should I grow in my career? Should I finish college? Should I do this and this? And then if you don't have someone to turn to, then what do you have? Just your own inner thoughts. And you don't know, and people are hesitant of, am I making the right decision? And it's so hard to know in yourself if you are making those right decisions sometimes.
Right, that's tough. It's really
having
tough.
the little angel and devil right here, like, nah, bro, don't leave yet. Nah, go, you good, bro? Just go ahead over there. Nah, bro, you gonna be missing out. And when you listen to the wrong person or the wrong reason to go, you get stuck in the sauce. You get lost in the matrix.
You said it.
Right. So I'll just share with y'all, for me personally, my personal experience. You know, when I was in my process of finding out who I am as a man, you know, obviously we human beings, we gonna live life and experience, right? So I was dating women, and some women I allowed to, you know, get close to my heart, things like that. And FOMO played a major role in my life when I was in my process, in the sense of, like, I'm telling these women, you know, at different times, my dreams, my hopes, my ambitions. And for a short period of time, it was like, oh yeah, you know, that shit, I mean, that stuff sounds good. Right. And they see me in my process, and I'm working towards it. And next thing you know, a hiccup comes up in the relationship, right? And now it's a tug of war battle between, you know, the loyalty aspect and you know, the woman still sticking by your side and being supportive through it all. And fast forward, no long story I want to provide you here, but those women, I'm no longer with those women. And at the same token, you know, I've achieved a lot of the things that I said that I was going to do. And I'm actually in a different space in my life now. And it's funny how, you know, life, it comes full circle always. Yeah. You know, you never know who you're around. You never know who you're in front of. You never know who's pouring into you. And you should be reciprocating and bringing that energy back. But because of FOMO, these women missed out, in a sense, if that makes sense, right?
Like, halfway supported
because
you.
they didn't truly, I wouldn't say that they didn't believe in me. They knew that I had it. They believed in me, but they just was impatient.
That makes a lot.
It was impatient, and they didn't allow me the time and space to really truly blossom and become who I am.
Instant gratification.
You know what I'm saying?
I can totally relate to you on that one, Judah.
And so the crazy thing about this, and I'll keep it real short, is that, you know, a lot of these women, they circled back around when they saw that, you know, I manifested and I achieved the things that I said I was going to do. But at that time, it was like, it was a dead end road for me, you know, because you had that opportunity to be there and support me, you know, when I wasn't popping, or I didn't have a bag, or however you want to put it, right? I didn't have a nice car and things like that. I was, you know, working 16-hour days, barely sleeping, barely eating, and still hitting the gym. And, you know, that FOMO is serious. So what I want everybody to take from that, you know, me sharing that little story is this. Don't underestimate the people that's around you, that's in front of you, that's truly pouring into you and loving you, just because you believe and you think that it's something better out there for you, right? Or it's somebody out there that can take you out of your situation, so to speak, and change your life over. Because if I'm going to be 100% totally honest, those women are still in the same position that I left them 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. And I'm somewhere totally different. And the only thing that they can do now is watch me shine. So let's continue on. No, do we got anybody else that have anything else they want to add to this? Because this is really important.
I feel like
it's really important topic.
I feel like you put the icing on the cake, Judah, man.
Oh, right.
That was deep, man.
All right, so let's go ahead and dive in a little bit deeper. Do you believe those decisions were in your best interest, or do you think they were driven by fear or uncertainty?
As far as my past experience
with FOMO, right?
My past experience, I feel like, well, my at certain points during the moment, I feel like it was, you know what I mean, naturally. You know, we're human, but at certain points, I kind of knew I was right. It's a kind of a weird thing for me, you know what I mean? Like me, like I love so hard, like it's kind of hard for me to leave someone. Like I can't explain it. At a certain point in my life, I would say, it became strong for me. I knew I was always good. I would still bias myself up, or a person wouldn't really have that much access to me. And me being a man, and always came to a thing like I always allowed a girl to break up with me, whether I knew it was done. But the more important part for me was trusting that instinct when I have it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
listening
like
to that feeling inside of you, just letting you know.
Precisely, you know what I mean? That comes to the full circle, you know what I mean? Like I'm 30 now, and like seeing everything, it is like a full circle. Like some of the things Judah's been through, like it's so connected to everything he's saying, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm glad I'm here on this podcast today. The FOMO. A lot of women, cycle after cycle, and the cool part about it, it all wasn't no different. You know, everything under the sun is usually the same in different ways, the pattern, who, what, when, why, how. These same women had that same one thing in common, was FOMO, you know what I mean? To an extent, you know what I mean? To actually great extent, whether they did have that or they did have a negative influence from, AKA their mother, it could be a friend, it could be on the masses, if they were social media, you know what I mean? To where,
Right.
But me being a man and still knowing I was, everything that I knew has been planned, you know what I mean? I stuck through it, you know what I mean? I chose to still be a gentleman at all times, you know what I mean? Still love with the deepest of hearts, still protect oneself in whatever way, shape, or form. You know, people have different strengths, but know you know what I mean? Know who you are and just blossom, you know what I mean? Everything that you deserve will come to you, you know what I mean? Literally.
Right.
In many ways, times 10, times infinity, you know what I mean?
Awesome. Appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to chime in?
I think when it comes to FOMO, it's more about them being content in their position where they at, and they want you to be content with them. They don't want you to prosper, you feel me, move forward. And it's like with me, I pour so much of myself into a relationship, even if you don't got your own ambitions, I'm trying to motivate you. I'm trying to build that into you. But how much more can you actually pour into a person for your dream?
Right.
You know what I mean,
But
so
you start
lost
feeling
yourself.
empty. Right.
I mean, like, I'm trying to reach here, but even if I see this what we could be, but you don't see it, the fear of me moving forward and just like, you know, missing out, like what could have happened.
Right. What
That's-
could have been. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So the like uncertainty, basically.
Yeah, the
It's
uncertainty.
not really the fear, because when it gets to the point like, yo, hey, this is not getting there, I'm gonna go. That's all I always been as a person. But I'm gonna try to go in the humblest way. Like, leave with a seed planted in you for you to be better. Not for you to be like malicious towards me, like, oh, you did all this. Nah. I said, I breathe life into you.
Amen.
I mean, I'm 32. I'm not 24. Like, yeah, I need to run over here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've been there, done that. I'm trying to build something. The family can always be made, but can you build past that?
No, absolutely. I like that. You always leave some breadcrumbs behind, right? Even though you know that situation is dead and over with, you still want to shed some light, you know, because, I mean, that's just how we supposed to move, I think, actually. Even if something doesn't work out with somebody, you still want to wish them well, and you still want to, you know, leave them breadcrumbs for them so that they can find their way eventually. Because at the end of the day, we all in this fight of life together. You know, we all have different struggles, but guess what? Pain all hits the same way.
Because their journey might be different than yours. That spark might happen later on.
Right.
And
it might not be their time to blossom and transform over. So, you know.
And the next time they see it might not be the hate. It might be like, yo, what you did for me helped me out past like whatever I was going through, my relationship now, everything.
Right.
You never know. So
Absolutely. Let's hear something from the ladies. They're kind of quiet over here.
Yeah, ladies.
I mean, it's hard. I think it's just natural to, like, as humans, to want to like grow and build.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a partner that's there for you, then you're not going to grow and build the way that you want to. And it could probably cause a lot of resentment in relationships, someone holding you back.
Right.
And that's with me, it's really important to find someone that I can grow with. And if that's someone I can't see myself growing with, and it's not worth my time, in my opinion. So it's just, you know, we should always be trying to strive in this life and do better relationships. And they can really hold you back sometimes.
Yeah. And the wrong ones, definitely. Can definitely hold you back. But I like what you said, and you pointed out, grow together. Have a willingness to, get outside of your own personal comfort zone, because that's where the true growth happens. It doesn't happen where we relax, we comfortable, we got the same routine. No, that's boring. Relationships die there, honestly. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to challenge each other to grow. Because if you don't, what do you have? For me personally, my partners have to be, showing through actions, like actively, like, I want to be a better woman for you. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same token, I'm working on myself to be a better man, and be a better leader. And I think that the growth together, that's huge. And then the stage, you're quiet over there. I'm about to pick on you.
What was the question?
So, do you believe those decisions you were in your best interest that you made based off of FOMO? Like, this is a transparent moment right now.
I would say in my past relationship, I experienced FOMO in the sense of like, if I don't stay and stick with this man, I would lose my family and this this whole image that I had created in my head.
Right. Right.
So I stayed longer than I should have.
Right.
Whereas if I just and I had taken time to tap in with myself, and I feel like that's super important. It's just like tuning in with yourself, because like what you're saying, like all you guys were saying, there's so many distractions in this world, and only your own heart really knows like what's best for you. And so, yeah, after tapping in with myself, tuning in with myself a few times, like.
Right. Some self-reflection, right?
Yeah, like a lot. Finally, I realized like staying in a relationship based off of a fear of something is not healthy.
Yeah.
So no, I feel solid about that choice.
Yeah. Oh, you feel solid about that choice?
I feel solid about that choice of just being like, you're experiencing FOMO because like it's a natural thing, but then also having the opportunity to self-reflect and really figure out what's best, and then moving forward with that. It took some time to make that choice,
right,
and like get over that fear. But once I made it, I feel like so many different things in my life over this last year has just shifted and it's come into an alignment. And I realized how much my peace was just like out the door for a couple of years. And
right.
Now I just walked in my home and I'm like, wow.
I feel that. There we go.
So you had like a different twist to it. You said like you brought in family, right? So did your family want you to be with somebody specifically, and that's why you kind of drug it out, or was it like?
No, I mean, so I'm speaking of like the family unit that I had built.
Oh,
like
so
my ex
and
then my daughter. Yeah. Because we have a daughter. Yeah.
Okay.
So I wanted, like, I was fearful of leaving the relationship, one, because it's like, you want your kid to have their mom and dad, that's
together.
ideal. And
right.
I came from a broken home. It's like a mixed family, but it works. And
right.
So I know that is definitely a possibility, that you don't have to be with the other parent, and you can still can still be a great example for your child of like how a relationship should be, or
some
with peace.
Some jumped out to me though. You said like, so you came from a broken home, right? Would you say that the traumas behind that or the influences behind that kind of forced you to be, try to hold on to that relationship a little bit longer for fear that your child may not have both parents in the household, and kind of like what that did, how it made you feel or what you experienced?
Yeah.
Because I think people need to understand that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't allow your traumas and your hardships in your life dictate and control your future experiences.
Yeah, because like you have the power to create like whatever reality you want to create.
Right.
It's like just because like there might be some similarities of like what your life looks like right now from like your traumas in your childhood,
in your past, right,
doesn't mean that it's gonna like unfold in the same manner.
Right.
Right. Like you literally can create your whole entire reality.
You can create your whole entire reality. Right. So that means that, for your child that you created through that relationship can still feel that love of both parents, can still live a prosperous, healthy, active lifestyle, moving forward, even though the home may be essentially on paper broken, right? Okay. So let's go ahead and take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to transform your life while building the body you've always dreamed of? Introducing the Alpha Body Battalion Compensation Plan, a groundbreaking opportunity that will revolutionize the way you earn and empower you to reach your financial goals.
Imagine a world where your passion for fostering a healthy, active lifestyle and your desire for financial abundance seamlessly align. With the Alpha Body Battalion Success Share System, your hard work and dedication will be rewarded like never before.
Our compensation plan offers a multitude of benefits, including generous commissions, bonuses, and exciting incentives. Earn money while sharing your love for fitness and watch your income grow exponentially. Thanks to the compensation plan, I've been able to leave my 9-to-5 job and focus on building my dream fitness business full-time. The support and mentorship I receive from Alpha Body Battalion community have been invaluable. It's like having a whole team cheering me on. Don't miss out on this life-changing opportunity. Join the Alpha Body Battalion today and unlock your true potential. The Alpha Body Battalion Compensation Plan, where fitness meets financial freedom. It's a no-brainer. Act now and seize the opportunity to create the life you deserve.
In a world full of possibilities, sometimes all we need is a fresh start. Alpha Body Supplements is your gateway to better nutrition, true leadership, and real opportunity, offering high-quality supplements and expert guidance. More than just a company, we're a community that uplifts and empowers. We believe in creating generational wealth and a lasting legacy for future generations. Join us on this journey of transformation and opportunity. Alpha Body Supplements. Your path to a brighter, healthier future starts here.
Elevate your meals with Primal Complete Protein, a powerful plant-based blend packed with 20 grams of protein and enriched with our exclusive superfruit blend. Simply add to your favorite recipes for a delicious and nourishing boost. Primal Complete Protein. Elevate your meals. Elevate your life.
All right, right back like we never left. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. So can you identify any patterns in your decision-making that are influenced by FOMO? How do you think these patterns have shaped your relationship history?
Gosh, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Next, someone else.
Would you mind if I asked that question one more time? Would you be able to repeat
Yeah.
that one more time? Yeah, let me hear that one more time.
So can you identify any patterns in your decision-making that are influenced by FOMO, by fear of missing out?
I would say, my fault, brother.
I say basically like you're quick to try to find a flaw or a reason why this person is not compatible with you, or a reason why they're not compatible with your vision, or what you think your life might be like at that time.
That's a good one. I like that. Did you personally do that in your relationship?
I have when I was younger, because I felt like I was being trapped in a way, like put in a box. Like a lot of females that I used to date when I was younger kind of try to put a leash on my neck. Like I was kind of like a trophy for the most part, for the majority of them. So it was like I was still in a learning process of finding my own true identity. I was still a young man. So as far as I got older, in my 20s, I started learning like bad patterns. So like, okay, nah, you lacking like this. I can't hang with my friends, or I can't do this. I'm leaving. Right.
That's right.
So that's when I started noticing them patterns. I'm like, you know what? Let me stop going in that angle and start really truly just focus on me, then looking at the person's true personality. Instead of figuring out if they flaws is the reason why I should leave. Some people can fix their flaws if they want to. But when I was immature, I wasn't worried about that. I wanted instant gratification at the time.
Tasting that honey.
So I want to ask you, so were they truly flaws, or were they truly excuses and reasons to get you out of that situation?
Not as I'm hearing you ask me, and as well as me speaking it sounds more as excuses at this point.
Okay. I appreciate you being open and honest
reflecting
about
back.
that. Absolutely. I find myself you know, in the past doing similar things as well. You know, where, you know, I hop into a relationship and I'm excited and I'm hype about it. And then it just turns for the worse, you know, and like, I'm like, oh, I'm not really feeling you.
The whole time.
I'm not really into you. So you know what? I don't like that your hair short. Or, you know, when you sweat, you smell weird. I don't know.
That makes sense. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just like making excuses and reasons that like really, if it was with somebody that I truly wanted to be with, I can, you know, look past the weird sweat smell or
little hiccups. You're right.
or the bob cut.
The
You know what I'm
snort
saying?
at night or something, perhaps.
But just because I'm not feeling you, I'm like, yeah, that bob cut is just a no, like it's a no go for me. Like, but I'm not going. I wasn't like a mean and nasty dude like that unless a girl really pushed me to that point. Then I'll just say straight up like, yeah, I don't like you because you got short hair. Or, you know, I would just make up and say, you know what, it's me. Mm-hmm. I got to work on me. I got to focus on me. In reality, it was just like, I'm just not really feeling you. So that's why I asked you that, because I was like, okay, let's go a little deeper on that, right?
It definitely was excuses. It definitely was me just like, yo, nah, let me get up out of here, bro. It was like, it was for the moment for the most part, especially when you're young and I say not even just young, you just living wild and reckless at the time. Because you just want it right now because you got it right now.
Right. And I wanted to isolate that because you said it felt like women was putting a leash on your neck. So that's an example like of a lifetime of FOMO, fear of missing out. I'm connected to this woman and I feel like I'm missing out because I see other hot chicks walking around or, you know, somebody over there that I might want to have some type of close experience with and I can't because I feel choked up. Does that make sense?
Or even feeling like that leash is just keeping you from being who you truly are. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you turn your whole life or your whole personality 360 around just to please the person that you with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So how would those patterns and those experiences and those excuses that you were using, how do you feel they shaped your relationships today? Do you think that, you know, maybe it was a female that you was connected to and she was worthy of your time, energy, and space, and you literally fumbled her because of the simple fact that you felt that you was too choked up on that leash?
I say as far as today, I recognize the good characteristics, especially if I fumbled a good woman in the past. I still recognize that because, as we say, we reflect on our own past mistakes.
Right.
Just to get more in tune with ourselves. Like, yo, what bad habits or just bad thinking patterns I had, I need to change.
Right.
So the only way you could do that is reflecting in. So
self-reflection. That's huge. That's huge. For everybody out there that's listening, you know, take that time to really self-reflect on, you know, how you're showing up in your own personal life and also how you're showing up in the lives of others, because you may find out that you are the problem, as they say in the movies.
Hey, my bad, Judy. You're totally right. Like you said, I can't even say that. Hey, I can't even say nothing. Yeah, you feel me? How could you find out if you're the problem or not? You feel me? I'm gonna say it clearly. Be clearer about it. How could you find out if you're the problem or not if you don't self-reflect? You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, hey, I wouldn't blame you. I don't think I was a problem too until I self-reflect, realize I am the problem. I get better, become true. You see me? Right. Now I'm just being philosophical, playing with words here a little bit, but y'all felt that. If y'all get that, I get that. You know what I mean? And it's like Judah said, like my most recent relationship was, I'm gonna get even more depth if I ain't said it, but was literally like that, you know, cuts. So I'm gonna say it like this. One point last year, I ended up becoming a professional fighter. I've been doing martial arts since 18, different various styles, MMA in Vegas for a while. You know what I mean? Always been on the music scene, well, doing music, loving how to do music. Not caring what nobody thinks, nobody care what nobody says, just doing me, just rocking out loud, you know what I mean? I've always been very talented in music, you know what I mean? And martial arts for some time now. Now that it's coming to its full circle, I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna get direct. My most recent relationship, you know what I mean, was definitely FOMO, like directly, you know what I mean? Even I even gave her a book at some point, trying to help a book of something like The Fear of Shame based off of that. It was a book, I think, written by a woman. I feel like Lisa might know this book for some reason. But that book about shame and, you know, being in the fear, you know what I mean? And prior to even reading that book, this is something I'm already seeing. So it just came in that duality. And I tried to at least extend that knowledge to her. At some point, another book get coming back to me. But probably left somewhere else. You know what I mean? But
Right.
it was a big thing in Fear. You know what I mean? Very talented thing. Very, you know what I mean? Very loving. Very eccentric. Very different. You know what I mean? Very like me. You know what I mean? Very like Judah. You know what I mean? I would say to an extent, as far as just compassionate heart goes. Still, you know what I mean? Many of us in here. You know what I mean? But as far as, in my opinion, I feel like she was in a more of a in-between stage. You know what I mean? Like, it was there with me, but at some point when I had to go back to Long Beach, California for a second, you know, right before flipping professionally, it's like, I knew it would come at the time. It got as deep as this. We talk about these things, you know what I mean? She seen my accuracy with a lot of things. I knew and she knew. But at some point, it is a mental thing. Like how the lady here said, it can become like mental. By the time I come back, boom, she broke bad on me. You know what I mean? Influence of family members. And different influence can be different stronger. But I feel like nothing can influence you more stronger. I'm going to say it in my example. Nobody can roast you or bag on you, hurt your feelings more than your damn mama. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, excuse my language. Or somebody that has that power, or your parents. You know what I mean? So it ranges from what can really make you feel like that. And sometimes society is even it's powerful. It just depends like what you're more in tune in, family or society. But even from there, it's things in all of them. It's just about conquering it all. If I hit any marks, you know, it gets a little.
No, I understand.
But,
so
yeah.
I'm trying to understand correctly. So like nothing can really like stab deep than like a person that you share intimate relationship with. So because you mentioned like your mother. So your mother, you would have like a strong bond, not like a sexual intimacy, but you know, like
I love my mama.
care.
Yeah.
So with
Queen.
this female you was involved with, would you say that, you know, that cut you deeply by her going a different direction?
Yes, she was influenced by, you know, like we said,
By her family,
and it did cut me deep. You know what I mean? It did. No, it was a lot of great things. You know what I mean? But I always just stayed in tune with nature. You know, when it came down to it. Cause like you know what I mean? And it did cut me deep, you know what I mean? But like I said, it's not full circle. We get stronger and stronger. It didn't cut me as deep as the one before, you know what I mean? The deepest one when I was a little boy anyway, you know what I mean? But it cut me deep, but I understood it. She understood at some point even with me, you know what I mean? Everything that happened, we even spoke about together. That's the coldest part, you know what I mean? So it all comes with just keeping a level head and a clear conscience and a clear perspective, and the truth will be right in front of you at the end of the day. And like Judah said, we're getting that, you know, it gets deep.
Let me interject a little bit. So how did that experience shape your relationships moving forward? She hurt you, she zipped out, right? Family influence.
Yeah.
How does that look in your life now today from that past experience? How do you show up in relationships now because of that? Because of
that, you know what I mean? Now that I show up, I would say the way I show up in relationships, being in a relationship or before like getting into a relationship.
Hey,
however,
just meeting a woman, dating her, and getting to that point of being in a relationship.
Oh yeah, it definitely, you know, even gets to be stronger, you know what I mean, or even paying attention, you know, to the woman deeper. Right before, making sure I'm gonna put it this way, making sure she's actually at her full circle or matching to a certain degree, you know, give or take. Because
I understand that about her. I'm saying you. So from that past trauma,
how did it shape?
How did it shape you personally when you show up for relationships?
Oh,
I understand what you're saying about the female, but I want to know about how you showing up.
It made me even more diligent, even more calm. You know what I mean? Even more. Just accepting, you know what I mean? Especially after that, something happened like that, you know, kind of like a form of betrayal to the extent feeling. It made me just be more, how would I say it? More free.
More
you
free.
know,
That's different. That's
even
different.
in depth with freedom, I guess I would say.
That's different because
that's how I would say it.
For me personally, past relationships where I've had women, you know, walk away from me for whatever have you, you know, I felt anger, frustration. I felt abandoned.
Yeah.
I felt all of these different negative feelings. But at the end of the day, you know, in your life, it's not about, you know, those emotions and those feelings and those things that you're going through. It's about how you take that energy and you use it in a positive light to keep you moving forward. Because at the end of the day, no matter if I had a broken heart or I was pissed off, the sun still rise and it's still set. And it didn't give a shit whether how I felt. because that woman walked out of my life or made me feel like I was worthless, or I wasn't living up to her beliefs or her thoughts. So if we could take anything from that, and you exceptional because you said you felt free. Most guys, I would say some guys who have those experiences, it turned worse.
Yeah.
They become, really like harsh in future relationships with women, it gets ugly out here. So you exceptional when you said that. You mentioned that.
That definitely hits home though.
Because I know what you're saying too on that flip side. Like, don't get me wrong, my fault. It's always there. You know what I mean? But it comes back to licking that wound. You know what I mean? Now I'm here with you, Judah. My fault.
Yeah. No. I'm just trying to understand. The truth. I just want.
Yeah, it's like it comes back to licking that wound. You know what I mean? Because it did hurt initially.
Right.
Now that I'm seeing what you're saying, initially it did hurt. You know what I mean? But at some point, those type of experience does make up, especially for a man. You know what I mean? Femininity needs to be retained. Masculine needs to be obtained. You know what I mean? Certain things like that makes us know, like you said, our future relationships, and also makes our hearts stronger. You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely.
But initially, it did hurt, and feeling abandoned, betrayed in the craziest ways. Came back after a pro fight to Las Vegas just for her. I have no family out here. Didn't have any family for the longest, but I never gave up, and then I just prospered and fought through it, whether it was working out, being the best I can be. It's like a wound. Wounds still leave scars, you know what I mean, eventually. You know what I mean? But healing, it just takes constant healing, you know what I mean? Even when we don't expect it, just to push that healing in for self, because sometimes we get nonchalant about our wounds. Social media might even influence, in a way, nonchalantness about our wounds, distractions, but I don't know. But yeah.
FOMO. Appreciate you, man.
Make you or break you, what you go through.
Right. You got any thoughts from the ladies?
Yeah, I was just going to say, for my past relationship, like what I was speaking on earlier, I think what I recognized was based off of my fear. I was trying to force him to be a certain way or to make certain changes, even though they would have been for the better of.
In your mind, you thought they would have been.
Well, like when you have substance abuse issues and you fucking up like that kind of, but you're right. Everybody has the freedom of choice, and so if that's how somebody wants to live their life, that's not how I want to live my life.
Right.
So, so I noticed that pattern showing up, and I think I feel really like I had the opportunity to learn so much from that, because I was able to see you can't change anybody else, and in fact it causes more chaos. When you're just disrupting your own peace. So that was the biggest takeaway. I feel like moving into relationships now is just recognizing, just observe, people are going to show you who they are.
Right.
And either you have the choice. Do you accept it? You want to be solid with this person, or you don't want to. Yeah. Don't try to lie to yourself or them, or try to make something up because of FOMO, fear of missing out.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Karen, you got anything you want to share with us?
I just think, I know I have personally stayed in relationships longer than I should have.
Right.
And we all have done that.
Absolutely.
But I'll throw myself under the bus here. It's just, as a woman, I want to be married. And so being my fear of missing out is will I ever get married?
Right.
And I was engaged for years to this guy. And, after we got engaged and he would lie and betray me and backstab me and all the things, you still make excuses because you're but I want to be married, because you don't want to miss out on that happy ending that it seems like everyone else has. Everyone else is married and buying houses together and living that life, and it's well, we're still getting married, and we'll be married in a few months, and you just make excuses, and then it doesn't work out. And then the next relationship, you feel oh, maybe me and this guy will get married. And then everything's great for 6 months to a year. And then shit starts to happen. Sorry, excuse my language,
No,
but you
absolutely.
know, it starts to happen, and then you make excuses because you're like, well, maybe we could be married one day, and the housing market sucks. I really need to be married to someone to buy the house that I want. And just like after this last one ended, and not my ex-fiance, but the person I dated after him, it's just gotta, you know, when you end a relationship afterwards, you're like, why didn't I end it sooner? Why? And like everyone could think back to a time of like, remember when he did this? Why didn't I leave him at this point? You know, but I dragged it on another 3 months, and then he did that, and then I still didn't break up with him. And but I think honestly, as a woman, it's because I have that fear of missing out of like, will I ever get to get married? You know, and but like in hindsight, I'd rather just be single and happy than just to get married for the sake of getting married and marrying the wrong person and ending up divorced. So just moving forward, I have to not make excuses. And I went on a couple of dates with this guy. I'm like, oh, there's some red flags. Bye. You know, because I'm not going to drag it out like I have in the past. But I'll just be honest, like I said, like that is my fear. Is like every girl wants to get married, and then it kind of sucks when you're feeling like, oh, getting older still hasn't happened.
Right, you get that pressure build up, right?
Yeah.
So would you say that during that experience that you were essentially settling because you was waiting for that end result of getting married?
Absolutely.
So you made excuses for the red flags that came up, and you was like, yeah, I know that I don't like this. I don't really fool with that, but it's potential there for me and this guy to, you know, tie that knot and for me to essentially get what I truly want.
Yeah, it is settling. And then it feels like, well, nobody's perfect and everyone makes mistakes. And you tell yourself all these
So you make
things.
up the excuses in your own mind and to drag it out even further, right?
Yeah. You know,
Start
'cause
creating this delusion.
you can't, because you're like, you can't break up with everyone just because he did one little thing or one other little thing, you know, and then, but you really looking at it, if you really meet the right person, they won't do those things, you know?
I think it comes, it starts with clear communication about your future goals and action behind
Alignment.
those.
Right.
Alignment.
Alignment.
I mean, it don't got to be about, well, you know, supportive. If you're building a business, be very supportive, be there. But if we're aligning on goals as far as future family base and building, if we have that alignment, we have clear communication every day. We're human. We're gonna make mistakes.
Right.
So look by my actions, or both sides.
Yeah,
if
on
their
both
actions
sides,
is
vice versa,
moving
right.
towards that, that's what you need to pay attention to. And sometimes
So
those
you
two
saying
don't always
be
line up.
more realistic with your boundaries. That's what you're saying essentially.
And that's what the confusion.
What I do, right. Go ahead, go in, because I know
that's
you.
where the confusion and the FOMO comes from. You know what I mean? It's like it's not aligning. You might not even have the same goals, but his action might be pushing towards a little bit of it. But now you feel like, okay, you give me part of it, but I might be missing out somewhere else, where somebody could give me at least 85% of that. So that's why I guess the FOMO comes in with that part.
So you saying essentially that we imperfect men and women don't judge so harshly, because you can miss the boat with me thinking that it's another guy that's going to give you more percentage of what you want. That's what you saying.
That's what it sounds like.
What you think about that, Karen? Because I know you kind of hard on this red flag, I'm out. I know that's kind of that kind of got to be a little tough for you dating like that though, right?
I mean, it is hard. Like I said, my last relationship, I was in the relationship with the guy for a year, and I felt like I was kind of beating my head up against the wall because I'm asking for something that I feel like is not unreasonable, and he wouldn't do it. Then I went on, we break up, went out with this guy for a little while, and it is really true that what someone won't do for you, someone else will, as far as communication and support and love and just making an effort to come see you and things like that.
Like simple things, right?
Yeah, and so
common sense stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he may have red flags, but overall, it shows you that you shouldn't settle, because at the end of the day, there is someone that will drive across town to see you, especially in Vegas. You know, someone lives in Aliante and you're in Henderson, and they're driving across town to see you. That means something.
But let me ask you a question. Let's isolate that though, Karen. So, if you could be 100% open and honest with me, is that the guy that you really want? The guy that's going to drive across town to see you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to be in a relationship where someone makes you feel like you're a priority. And, and even if there's other priorities above you, maybe if the person has kids or whatever, the guy I dated for a year, he had kids and he was a single father. Like the mom was not in the picture at all.
Okay.
And people were like, he needs to prioritize you. I'm like, no, he needs to prioritize his children. But it's a balancing act. He still has to make some time for me and also for his children.
Right.
I could never ask a guy to put me above his children. And I feel like when people are in relationships, they should self-reflect and, be reasonable, like not ask too much and make themselves a good partner too. But yeah, I do think that there is going to be a guy out there I'll meet one day and he will prioritize me in some sort of way and drive across town to see me and, be there if I have a bad day, but I haven't found him yet.
No, I believe in that. Balance is definitely healthy in the sense that, you don't neglect your own personal, and then also you don't neglect your responsibilities. But we also have to be mindful and understand that at the end of the day, if we have kids involved, right, our kids will eventually grow up, grow older, and then find themselves a partner, and then they will put you on the back burner. So with that clear understanding, right, with that clear understanding, for me, I put me first. I have a 13-year-old son. I put me first so that I'm able to show up and be my best self for him and lead him in the way that he should be. I would never advise anybody to put their kids before them. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if you're not good, your kids won't be good. Real talk. What do they say when you get on the plane? First put your mask on and secure it, and then assist another. That goes with children too. If your ass is choked out and you can't breathe and your kid is gonna look at you and they're gonna be in the same bad situation. So yes, balance to a certain degree, but don't allow this understanding that, my kids come first, that you fail to realize I must save me first in order to save my children, right?
That makes sense.
I got to put my kids, I see this with my friends, and I got to isolate and go in on this because too often that I have conversations with friends who like, yeah, man, I'm drowning. These kids or females, I'm stressed out. Yeah. I'm not providing the space and opportunity for me to be healthy so that I can then show up for my children and help them to be healthy. We forget about that. Our kids, because I'm a father, our kids will grow old and they will leave the nest and they will find a partner and they will be like, yeah, I'm in love. Sorry. How many times have we done that with our parents? If we want to be totally 100. So no, I'm not putting my kids first. I'm putting me first so that I can in turn show my children how to be, right? So that they can grow up and live prosperous, better lives. So balance, yes. Let's not get away from it and go overboard.
Right.
With that guy that you dating, he has to make time for you. How the relationship gonna grow? And then you're gonna feel neglected because every time you reach out to him and you tell him, hey, ain't this our date night? You said that we got this day. And he's like, oh man, my son's basketball game, I forgot. How you gonna feel? You're gonna be like, man, all right, first time, cool. Second time, third time, you like, I don't wanna hear that shit. How are we supposed to connect and build? Because at the end of the day, if I'm taking you serious as the dude I'm dating, right? We supposed to grow old together. That's the plan. But if I'm always constantly on the back burner because of past situationships, we not getting nowhere. So somebody's always going to feel like left out. They're going to feel neglected, and it's going to start to build resentment. So I would encourage anybody, if they listening in, put you first. If you have children, absolutely. The basics of feed, shelter, protect. But outside of that, make sure that you prioritizing yourself because you need to be okay. If you aren't okay, then your kids aren't going to be okay.
Amen.
We have to understand this because people are out here suffering, believing because of society norms, right? Mm-hmm. Put your kids first, put your kids first, put your kids first. Well, if I'm not here, what's going to happen to my damn kids?
Hey, that's a simple thought. You know what I mean? That's a simple thought that society makes it hard for some to even think that. You know what I mean? So continue, Judah, my bad.
So that's a form of FOMO also. Fear of missing out and believing and thinking that your child is going to hate you later on because you spend time with you. No, your child is going to love you even more because you're going to be so filled and so healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically because you're pouring into yourself that you're able to pour in turn into your children. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. That makes sense to me. When they say get on that plane and put your mask on first and then secure your partner's mask or your kid's mask, whoever else mask that you can help next, that makes sense to me. Man. Because if I'm not getting no oxygen, then everybody dying. Yep. And I mean that wholehearted. If I can't breathe and you next to me on the plane, I am snatching your damn mask. Straight up. Hey. Self-preservation. Shit. Hey, don't get mad at me. Snatch somebody else's mask.
It's like when they
it's survival of the fittest.
When they ask a certain question, like you in the woods with the father, the mom, and the kids, you ask them all, so who eat first? A lot of people gonna be like, get the kids the food first. No, give the man the food first. He actually got to go in the woods and hunt.
And bring more food.
Yeah, bring it back. But that's still the same mentality with society today.
Right. And it can go both ways. It's not just on the men's side, it's on the women's side also, like I said with Karen. Mm-hmm. If he's not prioritizing and making time for you, then it's time for you to move on. Precisely. All right, so let's go on. We spent a lot of time on that. So FOMO can lead to significant anxiety and stress, often resulting in impulsive decisions. Can you discuss a time when FOMO led you to make a choice that you later regretted? Ooh.
Being engaged.
Okay.
Definitely regret that one, but
Okay. Yeah, that's a strong one right there. You hear me?
I got one a little bit more. Yeah, getting married. Yeah. Getting married at like 20. I think I was like 20. Yeah.
20, getting married.
Look, my dad straight up told me, he was like, baby, if you don't want to do this, like, I'll take you like we could leave right now. It was fucked up. Fucked up. But I was like, I committed.
Right.
Like,
right.
I know some shit just happened last night, but like, I'm committed. And
right.
That because I made that choice, like it just went down like a dark path, and then so.
Deep.
Yeah.
Say, trying to save every broken person you've been involved with.
Oh, you the therapist over here.
Nah,
you trying to fix everybody.
I guess like when you're in a certain energy space, like that's the type of people that gravitate to you because you got such a healing aura around you.
Right.
Dealing with that type of commitment and then also being that type of person that drains you because everybody around you that you're involved with is like they so broken with the things that they going through. They pain, they trauma, their fear, of missing out, their own reasons. And you're like, nah, you good, motivating them. It drains you as well. So stop trying to always wear a cape.
Into you,
know what I mean?
Energy vampires are a real thing.
Yeah, and you would become like those vampires if they drain you completely. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I had to change. Like when I hit my 22s, I'm like, I'm not even gonna be saving nobody. I'm gonna be exactly what they doing to me. Then that messed up my own mindset because I started messing up with good women that was coming to my life.
Right.
I'm treating them wrong because I was getting treated wrong in the past. I was living in the past still. I wasn't focused right now.
And I think that, setting real open and honest boundaries with you and the person that you're dating, your no matter what's and letting them know is extremely important because that protects you from turning into a vampire sucker, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Because if you have those boundaries in place and you're letting that partner know, and they cross those boundaries, then you can make that conscious decision whether this situation no longer serves you, right?
Precisely.
So now you're protecting yourself essentially, because now you're not letting it get past that point to where you feeling drained, and now you feel like you gotta drain somebody
Take
else.
your own energy, or just
That's
mirror
Like
the same
that gauge,
thing
you
that
know
was
what I
going
mean?
on
With
with you.
anything on life, have that gauge. I don't care what it is. Have a gauge on it. You know
the boundaries, right?
boundaries, dude,
Right.
whatever it is, like it makes sense.
Anybody else want to chime in on that? A choice that you later regretted because of FOMO.
Oh yeah, I forgot to answer it or try to gauge. That one got to me. I think the only thing I can do was laugh at the beginning because it was nothing precisely, but I guess it's so much that just made me get that giggling feeling. You know what I mean? Because I know I got some references there with it. You know what I mean? But many choices. You know what I mean? Fear of missing out. Shit.
Was it something that you
Sometimes,
regretted?
Can't really think of nothing too much right now, Judah. Like,
Okay. No,
but
that's
if
fine.
there's a number at once, it's hard for me to see what I even want to say now. My bad. I got
No.
Yeah.
You good. We'll come right back to you. So, what did y'all learn from those experiences, and how has it influenced your approach to similar situations since then? So you got married at 20, and something happened prior to, and you said, "Oh, whatever, I'm committed."
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned since then? How has that influenced your life, that situation?
Well, yeah, like I said, just being mindful, tapping in with yourself. Like I knew that there was something off. Like I knew that I was making this decision due to, like, I didn't know the terminology, but it was due to FOMO.
Right.
But yeah, I think it influenced. I'm so grateful for all of my experiences. I'm so grateful for that experience.
Right. Let's start there. You're grateful for your experiences, absolutely.
Like, cause
how else you gonna learn? You got the experience.
Like, truly,
Sorry.
like even the people, even like all the people that I've come across, the ones that have hurt me or helped me or whatever.
Right.
I'm grateful for them all because I feel like I've learned so much, and I've been able to show up better for myself, better for my daughter, better for my family, better for like the people that I meet.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess that just taught me, like, girl, you better like become self-aware. Like you need to, like, there's some shit that you need to figure out, and it's been an unfolding and a becoming, like I'm 30 now, so this last decade.
Right.
But the biggest thing I think I learned also is just like, don't let shit get you down.
Yeah.
Like, it don't matter like what trauma you went through. It don't matter like whatever. Like, learn from it and move forward. And yeah.
Yeah, learn from it and move forward. I like that. Keep it pushing, because we on the Push
Beat
podcast.
yourself up.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep it pushing forward.
Yeah, and it's all a process too. Like I said, it's like I'm still in my becoming, but it's like been a whole decade, and it's like slowly peeling back layers. It's almost like a lotus just like unfolding. And yeah, so everybody has their process. Like, you're gonna get down on yourself. Like, you're gonna hit that rock bottom. You're gonna be like, oh fuck.
Right.
But like, you can build from that. Like, so yeah, I think that I would like to say that if you are in a place of like really struggling right now, and you maybe aren't like feeling your best, like, that's okay too. I think that it's really important that we feel our feelings.
So
like,
true.
don't get stuck in that, but honor yourself, honor those feelings. And for me personally, it helps to talk to people.
Yeah, have a good support system around you.
Yeah.
It's a saying that I heard, and it said, like, if you fall down, make sure you fall on your back, because if you can look up, then you can get up and keep on moving. And so when you were saying that, that came in my mind, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So don't just get stuck in the situation or the trauma. Push through it. Adversity is going to come. We're human beings. We're going to receive that. But it's not about how you get hit. It's about how you can keep moving forward from that hit, right? Yeah, that's true. So if we can take anything from that and from Anastasia's experiences to, allow that process and that time to understand and get, familiar with those pains, those hardships, so that you can learn from it and keep going. not get stuck in that. Often it's crazy, you know, people in their 40s and 50s still talking about the same old shit that happened 20 years ago. You're stuck.
Yeah.
And that shit is sickening because your life and what has manifested from it is nothingness because you allowed yourself to stay stuck.
Well, it's like you continue to relive it over and over and over again. So you're literally creating that frequency that was in that space, and you're no longer there. But just by continuing to tell the story, and just like when you're telling the story, you're getting emotional. All these different things are happening in your brain, and it's like you bring yourself back to that space. It's just like, dang, if you weren't happy, why you continue to bring yourself back there?
It's like how we get back to FOMO. Some people is like fear of moving forward. I mean, they're afraid of
they get so attached. They get so attached to this feeling or this idea of themselves that they just
like, you know, people that's the high school jockey back in the day. Like, remember when I caught that 50-yard catch? Like, bro, why you ain't do that in the NFL?
Right,
we still in the same.
Get off of that, man. We heard that same story.
Are you okay?
Come on, let's move forward. What you doing now? You know? Yeah.
You okay?
Oh, absolutely. So, in hindsight, what would you have done differently, and what advice would you give to someone facing a similar dilemma?
I say move forward.
Move forward.
Like, you gotta move forward. Like, what you looking back for? Like, in a good book, you even say forget the past.
Don't live in the past.
You can't change the past. Past is dead. I mean, you can reflect to change your characteristics, your mindset,
your behaviors, right?
But you always got to move forward. Like,
you know, I would say personally too, on the side of that, like to people out there, like if you ever like experience anything any way we talked about being the person, being that, living in that FOMO, I would say, you know what I mean. At the end of the day, like you even described from the parents, no one can tell you anything more than what you already know. You know what I mean? More than what you could tell yourself. You know what I mean? Whether it be you're not too good, you're not too great, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. You have if anybody has that instinct, it's you. Why would it be the next person? Come on now. Like, you might as well look at them, no disrespect, not even bringing up religion, but be like, hey, are you my God? You know it's in your heart. It's about unlocking and manifesting, you know, being your true self. And the answers are already really there in reality. Nobody can give you the answers. How can I give him the answers? How can I didn't even know this. To be honest, I didn't know what this podcast was too much about. But I caught on somehow being here. I have a reference. And like me and Judah, we said we agreed on the same things. We never even spoke about this. It's our first time having these conversations, and it's just so strong. The answers were just within us, you know, separately but all together because it's one love. You know what I mean? And all the stuff that he's speaking about is totally true. I've witnessed it. He's witnessed it. He's witnessed it. But in different parts of it, I would say just let your soul shine. Do what you know you want to do, and be you, and do the best thing you really can. Like, because it works wonders. Like, it really does. And you'll be surprised. Like, at the end of the day, how much people are going to come back to have nothing but you bring yourself up and bring yourself down and bring yourself up, not in that way, but have no choice but to look up to you respectfully, whether they're down FOMO or not. You know what I mean? Once you blossom, like she mentioned, you know what I mean? Once you manifest that destiny, you know what I mean? Harnessing that energy and becoming, you know, fulfilling that destiny, you know what I mean, upon yourself. It's like nobody really knows but you. For example, if you know there's anything that you need to work on personally, then it takes you to work on that. And everything there, being humble, being loving, I feel like everything would just fall into place, you know what I mean? Like, it's not about nobody else. It's about you, you know what I mean? It's your life at the end of the day. And if somebody who does really love you, they're going to want the same thing for you that you want for yourself. It's called the best interest at heart. And those are the real people that you surround yourself around at the end of the day. They don't care about themselves. They're about you, you know what I mean? And that's the people you surround yourself with, you know what I mean? As you just be free, you know what I mean? Like, seriously.
I mean, I would hope that they care about themselves too, but care about you as well. I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
You feeling me though?
All right. What about you, Karen? You got anything you want to speak on?
No, I think they said it pretty.
You think they got it? Hit it on and on. All right. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to transform your life while building the body you've always dreamed of? Introducing the Alpha Body Battalion Compensation Plan, a groundbreaking opportunity that will revolutionize the way you earn and empower you to reach your financial goals.
Imagine a world where your passion for fostering a healthy, active lifestyle and your desire for financial abundance seamlessly align. With the Alpha Body Battalion Success Share System, your hard work and dedication will be rewarded like never before.
Our compensation plan offers a multitude of benefits, including generous commissions, bonuses, and exciting incentives. Earn money while sharing your love for fitness and watch your income grow exponentially. Thanks to the compensation plan, I've been able to leave my 9-to-5 job and focus on building my dream fitness business full-time. The support and mentorship I receive from Alpha Body Battalion community have been invaluable. It's like having a whole team cheering me on. Don't miss out on this life-changing opportunity. Join the Alpha Body Battalion today and unlock your true potential. The Alpha Body Battalion Compensation Plan, where fitness meets financial freedom. It's a no-brainer. Act now and seize the opportunity to create the life you deserve.
In a world full of possibilities, sometimes all we need is a fresh start. Alpha Body Supplements is your gateway to better nutrition, true leadership, and real opportunity, offering high-quality supplements and expert guidance. More than just a company, we're a community that uplifts and empowers. We believe in creating generational wealth and a lasting legacy for future generations. Join us on this journey of transformation and opportunity. Alpha Body Supplements. Your path to a brighter, healthier future starts here.
Elevate your meals with Primal Complete Protein, a powerful plant-based blend packed with 20 grams of protein and enriched with our exclusive superfruit blend. Simply add to your favorite recipes for a delicious and nourishing boost. Primal Complete Protein. Elevate your meals. Elevate your life.
All right, right back like we never left. So the constant fear of missing out can distract us from being present in our relationships. How do you think FOMO affects your ability to be fully engaged with your partner, friends, or family? Can you provide an example where FOMO distracted you from appreciating the moment?
I just think that like what you just said, it does take it away from the moment. So instead of me being like, when are we going to get married? Instead of worrying about that, you just worry about today. Right. Don't worry about past and who's hurt you before and what could happen in the future. And are we going to buy a house? When are we going to buy a house? When are you going to move in with me? It's just be happy today is what we need to focus more on.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, I think it's just like fear itself. Like just when you're fearful of something, it's like something that's non-existent. It's like what may or may not happen.
Right.
So I just feel like the more in control over your mind you are, like you just have to have control over yourself and like be able to recognize like, yeah, these different fears and these different thoughts are going to come up. But like, do you have the ability to literally fucking redirect yourself? I'm getting out of like alignment here. Like, let me just redirect.
Judah, for the song, like bashing what they both said, it's like being conscious and being present at the same time. You know, in between both what they both said, like that only makes sense. Like living in that moment, being conscious. It's one thing to be present, you know what I mean? But I can be here off like a fifth of vodka, you know what I mean?
Right.
Too lit.
But are you here?
Are you here? Exactly.
Right. No, absolutely.
Are you here?
Absolutely. That self-reflection is huge and being aware of yourself.
And conquering your fears at the same time. Right. That's what they're here for. Is we're not here to falter from our fears and just be shut in a box. You're supposed to conquer it and get past it.
Right.
If you can't get past it, you can't, see what's in front of you. Right. Regardless if it's a relationship, an opportunity, a new avenue to venture for business.
For me, I think it's just like when that fear comes up, it's like taking a moment and just being like, is this even like a real thing? Like, is this like, or is this something I'm imagining? Like what you were saying, like coming up with these ideas or these thoughts about like, okay, if I don't stay, then I won't get married and da 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 da. And then it just is like, it's like a tumbleweed. Those thoughts are like a tumbleweed, and it's like going down this freaking hill, and like it's just spinning out of control, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. More weeds are getting attached to it, and then it's just like so fucking big. It's gonna
it's gonna
so
consume
big, and then
you,
now it's gonna like completely consume you.
Right, clouding your mind with the what ifs.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, like I said, it's natural for those what ifs to come up, but if you just like take a breath and you're like, all right, I'm doing that thing again, like not getting mad at yourself, not like trying to like shame yourself about those things coming up, but just being like, okay, that one thing's happening again. Let me just.
What I feel like from Anastasia is saying, you know what I mean? Like it ties back to that healthy balance. You know what I mean? Those what ifs, you know what I mean? Those things that touch borderline insanity. Sometimes you use at different plays. Sometimes you do need those because it also shows that you're aware, you know what I mean? That you're still in the know. You know something. If you know something's going up, even if there's positive or negative with yourself, at least you're in the know, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like what's like Judah said, imagine not having a conscience of it. You know what I mean? Conscience is conscience. Once being in that know, I feel like you have some type of action as opposed to just complete oblivion. Once it gets to that point, it become different or even beyond complete oblivion, just the opposite. There's nothing there, and you're just telling yourself 1,000 things, shaming yourself, you know, because the mind is very powerful, you know what I mean? The mind can be programmed, it can be deprogrammed, you know what I mean? Like, and the mind, like, you got to program yourself sometime. Whatever you want, download your old program. You download some shit on my phone, you download this, whoop de whoop, bam, bam. Download SoundCloud, download your own real information to yourself. And it's like that, you know what I mean? Manipulate yourself if it works that way, you know what I mean? In the name of positivity, you can manipulate yourself for the better, for the negative. There's many things, there's everything. But it depends on what name you do it in, whether it's positivity or negative. Ring my bell, but y'all feel it. Like, that's real.
Right. Now, he kind of, I want to touch on what he said, because you can manifest all that into the partner, too. If you coming in there with your FOMO, your fears, I mean, you manifesting it into them. Like, you say your assumptions, like, what if we don't get married? Now, if you just assuming that and just placing that on them, maybe it's not going to happen now. Like how you said, let it be natural. Like you was touching it, like you gotta be natural now, because if it's not gonna flow natural, how's it gonna get to where it's supposed to go?
I just have this firm belief that everything is energy, and if you show up in a certain way and you're putting off a certain frequency, like that's what you're gonna attract. Like you're gonna so if you're fearful of this, and this happening, well, most like you're literally like pulling that energy towards you. You're asking for that energy to happen.
Facts.
I agree with you, Anastasia, but we got to go a little bit deeper on that, because with my personal experience, you can put out that energy and you can attract good and bad. It's not just because you're on a certain wave that's just going to come to you. That's just not realistic. And I think that when you are practicing and you're moving with a certain frequency and energy, you have to still set personal boundaries in place to protect yourself at the same token.
Yeah, you're right. Like it goes back to the energy vampires. Like people are gonna see you
because they gonna hop on that wave with you.
Oh yeah,
and they gonna be looking like, oh yeah, I like her energy she giving off, and I'm about to suck this. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm about to suck everything out of her.
Have you ever been swallowed?
So make sure that you still applying pressure and putting these boundaries in place, right? Even when you on that frequency, you on that wave, you got to still hold true to your personal safeguard, your boundaries.
You got to be
so
aware.
that when you get met with these different frequencies that may appear to be on the same frequency you on, you don't get blindsided. Does that make sense?
Precisely.
Because you will get blindsided because you believe in and thinking that, oh yeah, I'm vibing, I'm putting out all this good in the world, but there's people out here who are appearing to be in the light but are truly dark. And they will get your ass if you left open and willing.
With your guard down.
So let's make sure that we understand that, set personal boundaries and hold to those boundaries, and make sure that you are actively implementing those things and living that, right? Practicing what you preach, living that. So then in turn, you'll always be shielded from the BS. Because putting out that energy, personal experience, man, I'm doing things right, and I still get met with the ops.
But that's what you gotta expect, though.
Yeah, but the boundaries is what's gonna keep you, what's gonna safeguard you and keep you safe.
Balance of boundaries,
because we can show up every day in a positive light. I know people personally who showed up and who have been the best human being possible and still got the short end of the stick because they didn't set personal boundaries with themselves, and they thought and they believed that if I put out good into this world, I will receive good back. The reality is this: you can put good out into this world and not get shit back. Exactly. You have to take responsibility for yourself, for your frequency, and understand that not all energy that's coming back to you is good energy just because you putting out good energy, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. You know
So I just want everyone to take that nugget and understand that. You are in a world, in a society that you have to look at it for what it is, not how you want to see it. Of course, we all want to see it that I do a good deed for you, you'll do a good deed for me in return, but that's just not the truth. And I'm not going to put that out on this podcast because people are going to be left open to be damaged, you know what I'm saying, trauma bonded and destroyed. The reality is continue to show up and put that good frequency out, right? Amen. But at the same token, make sure you safeguard your heart, safeguard yourself, and hold these boundaries true. Because at the end of the day, it's like it's a measuring stick. When you meet somebody, you allow them to come in, but if they get too close where they're now being poked by that stick, that you got to cut that off. You can't sit up here and make excuses and say, oh yeah, I'm going to continue showing up good. And hopefully this person sees me. And hopefully this person shows up for me the way that I'm showing up for them. It'll be 3 years later and your ass is in the closet crying, talking about, oh, my life is fucked up.
Come on, yo, be like that.
Come on. Right? That's real spirit, real shit, real shit, real talk.
So absolutely what Anastasia said. I'm not against what you're saying. I'm saying let's go a little bit further.
Said, I've literally experienced that to the T.
Okay. Well,
keep showing up, literally 3 years later.
Yeah.
Turn the other cheek.
I wasn't in no motherfucking closet.
Turn the other cheek.
You just wasn't in the closet. No,
I was not. No,
right,
I went to dinner with Maru.
Oh, okay. There we go.
She's my counsel.
That's what up.
All right, so let's go ahead. Let's continue on. It's getting good. What strategies have you found effective in combating this distraction and staying present? So we understand what we did, as far as dealing with FOMO. Now, what have you put in place? And if you're still in your process, that's okay too, because we still it's always room to grow, right?
Just to ask the question again, did you say what was the boundaries that you put?
So what strategies have you found effective in combating this distraction and staying present? Like Karen said, being present, not being in the past, not being in the future, being in the present. Because this is a deep question in the sense that, are you truly doing the self-reflection? Are you truly showing up and loving yourself the right way to understand that what happened in a previous relationship, you're no longer allowing those things to take place? Like, for example, Brooklyn, you're no longer making excuses for reasons why you need to leave women alone because truly you just want to be outside. You see what I'm saying? Not saying that's what where you at right now. You feel me?
Hypothetically, I see what you're saying, Judah.
No, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, we feel
I get what you're saying. We was talking about when I was in a mindset like that back when I was in
what have you done now to make sure that you showing up and you loving yourself and you also providing space and opportunity for others to be in it with you? That's what I'm saying essentially.
Honestly, me is just like accepting who I am. You feel me? Like I'm in a relationship, accepting the person that I'm with.
Right.
I mean, noticing this like that everything outside or on the other side is not even greener like that.
Right.
Well, me, I would say you know what I mean? Like, me personally, I feel like I said, we're all still learning. I feel like, but once a certain level of love is unlocked, I feel like we're getting that again. My bad.
No, you good.
I'm off question. It's something. I'm answering something.
If you're still in your process, it's cool.
I'm going off what he's saying, but
yeah, go ahead.
Are we hold on? Oh, fuck. I forgot where we was at. I'm asking the wrong question. Hey, this skipped me.
I was going to say, okay.
We're going to come right back to you. Anastasia.
I just went to Saturn and came back. My bad.
Strategies. I'm thinking are you talking about coping strategies?
No, not coping. So what strategies have you found effective in combating this distraction and staying present? So obviously we've all experienced FOMO in our lives for one way or another. You pushing forward and getting married, and when you knew you wasn't supposed to, right? You allowing that space and opportunity to be let down in previous relationships. You making excuses to get out of situations because you didn't want the choke chain on your neck. You see what I'm saying? Where's the reflection? Where's the self-reflection moving forward so that you're not doing these things? It's self-harm. At the end of the day, FOMO is self-harm. So are you literally just experiencing these things and saying, all right, I'll move on to the next situation and continue to experience this shit? Or are you saying, you know what? No, it stops here. Where did I go wrong? Where did I allow this person to overstep certain boundaries with me? And how am I going to move forward and show up and love myself even deeper and allow for strengthened and stronger bonds and connections and relationships? That's what I'm saying. Because and again, don't do that. If you still in your process, just say that. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, us being transparent, open, and honest and saying, you know what? I just had a situation that I was in, or I'm in a situation currently, and I'm trying to work through that. That's okay. We human beings, nobody's perfect. I'm not sitting up here saying that I'm perfect, I know it all. What I'm saying is that, look, we adding value to each other and we adding value to others. So be real and be 100 with yourself while you're here on the podcast, because it's somebody that's listening to this that can actually take this and transform and change their life. Yeah. So we're not here to look pretty and look cute. We're here to be real and really have that transforming conversation so that other people can use that and move forward and make the rest of their life the best of their life.
I guess I'll say, like, take back my power. You feel me? At the time where I was feeling like that, I was just noticing I was being used for a certain avenue in my life that was, you know, beneficial for them at the time, or instant gratification for them at the time. And yeah, you know, I was getting my own benefits out of it, but it wasn't the right, you know, mindset at the time. It wasn't the right.
So what, okay, at when did you understand that wasn't right? And what did you do or implement into your life moving forward so that you don't continue to harm and hurt women, you know, while you still in your process?
Man, honestly, I looked at my female family members like, yo, do I want people to be treating them like that? Do I want them to be treating other men like that? So I'm like, what about myself that I needed to change? So I just started looking at myself like, okay, maybe I'm too happy to the fact that this is coming that way.
Right.
Was it I was getting gratification thinking it was them? Let me change that.
Right.
Let me change my mindset. So I just started working on myself. Like, what about me that's making them gravitate to me?
Right.
Let me change that. Like, what energy am I bringing out?
What
like,
energy are you pouring out?
Yeah,
right.
You know what I mean?
What pheromones you letting off?
Type stuff. So it's
right.
like,
absolutely, I'm with you.
For me, I think it's just like self-love, like just learning how to love myself and just being like, you know what, these too many boundaries have been crossed. And then it's just like, instead of pointing the finger, just being like, dang, like, I think the most, like, the biggest thing for me was like, I was upset with myself because I saw like what behaviors and things that I was willing to accept and how many excuses I would make. And so I think for me, it's just like, the biggest strategy was like just doing the inner work, which was
a
lot. Yeah, and there's so many different things that you can do that everybody's process looks different. Right. But like for me, you know, I like yoga, I like talk therapy, I like to go out to the mountains. Sometimes you got to go out there and scream. Just let it out. You got to get that. You got to let it flow.
Straight up.
Absolutely.
Or just bang the drum.
I see what you mean now. I see what the question is now. Like for me, it was just being more, being even more depth with self-reflection. Even when I think it's not me, self-reflect. Even when I think it's them, self-reflect. Yeah, exactly. Love them. You feel me? You know what I mean? Being that compassion, love, like literally taking the lesser. You know what I mean? Especially if one person feels some way, it won't make sense for two to feel the same way. So for me, as a man, however, it's like self-reflect. Okay, this is that. I feel like it's this. Patience, you know, a lot of other attributes that comes with these things, you know what I mean? But self-reflection, I feel like is a main key in this aspect, you know what I mean? Like,
it is, absolutely.
Literally, like self-reflection and getting more in depth with self-reflection. Even when it's, even if it's clear as day, you've been through this before, even if it's nothing that's too much, even if it's right in your face, breathe, love, and still self-reflect, you know what I mean? And then it's be accurate, you know what I mean? You self-reflect and lead with love, you'll have your answers right there. If it's you or that opposing other person in that relationship, you know, you will know, you know what I mean? Because you'll see, you know what they did already. Like Judah said, the question is, how much do you know what you did? That's one thing. You're going to remember, I feel like it gauges from percentages. Like a person can self-reflect to another extent, but I feel like just getting fully deeper to that selflessness and self-reflection.
Right.
Now I understand what's going on. I'm back.
No, you good.
But I
You good.
feel
No,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah, I feel that. That's what's good to see me. But no.
So, how do you balance the desire for new experiences with the need to nurture existing relationships?
Balance the desires for new experience versus.
How do you balance the desire for new experiences with the need to nurture existing relationships?
How do you balance?
New experiences with the need to nurture existing relationships. So I'll give y'all an example. Say you're in a relationship, you're dealing with somebody, right? And then you have somebody new that you may be interested in. This person is not giving you what you need, but you're still connected to them. You're still in a relationship with them. But you looking towards, or you want to be involved and deal with and delve into those new experiences. How do you balance that?
Well, I have to ask myself, like, what do I really want? Like, what do I really want? Do I want, if I already know that this relationship is not like the right one, because I've done the self-reflection, I've thought about it, and why am I gonna entertain too? It's just like, all right, what do you mean about like?
So let's be real here, and I'm pretty sure everybody's done this. You holding on to somebody that you know you don't want, that you don't want to be with, and you out here fishing for a new person. That's a new experience, right?
I mean,
but you already you still nurturing that same experience, because the FOMO is this: do I leave this person and deal with this new experience with this new person and miss out on this person because we already got something established? Or do I just move forward and jump out there full faith and belief, because this new experience may be appealing, it may be, hitting on certain levels, and I may be feeling somewhat a filled cup. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
I mean, I think it depends how many times you did that in your past. A lot of people been did that before. It was like they left somebody chasing somebody else. Did it really work out?
Most of the time, does it really work out? That's the real question. If we want to sit here and be totally honest, absolutely not. But FOMO is extreme in that situation, correct or no?
Yeah, I would say yeah.
So you rather hold on, destroy somebody that you know you might not necessarily want to be with for a new experience, right? And then if that new experience doesn't work out, then you got something to fall back on.
We all know that new experience never works out. It never works out.
I mean, unless you at that point, unless you at that point in the relationship and you feel like it's not work out, why destroy the person? Leave.
That's why. That's why I'm confused.
Right.
Like, I'm
so
like,
that's all I was hesitating on the
that
question. I'm not finna be like, nah, I'm finna go jump in, because I'm grown now. When I was 20, when I was still a child, I thought like a child. When I became a grown man, I put away childish things. Most men don't get that.
Right.
They still thinking lustful. You still think with your other head. You know what I mean? I've been there, did that.
Yeah.
Every nationality in the book already. I mean, so it's like
deep.
Ain't nothing but a G thing.
I'm saying when you live life, it's like I think a lot.
Deep.
Yeah, I feel that.
I'm saying as an example.
Every day.
I want to be like you when I grow up. No, I'm joking.
He's like,
I'm saying like
he's saying every nationality in the book. Damn, that's a bold statement.
I think like, yo, temptation comes mostly for the people that haven't lived life enough. So
precisely.
It's
right.
I
fear of missing out.
I feel like what
I
he's saying,
haven't did that before. I haven't experienced that. So I'm gonna go because you ain't doing nothing.
That's I can't relate. I can't relate to the question, because it's not like if I'm entertaining something else, it's not another man. It's like entertaining the idea of like, I don't think that this is working out. Like, I don't like my heart's not in this anymore. It's not that I'm like.
Well, let's go a little bit deeper on this, because I think that we might have a little misunderstanding. So, desire for new experiences doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be dealing with somebody else. for men and women, you can essentially be dealing with somebody else in your mind while you're with the person that you're currently with. So it doesn't even have anything to do with a physical action.
I see.
It can be internal, and that's still a fucked up situation. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you're not attached to the you're not with the person that you're with. You're nurturing this existing relationship, but you're not fully there mentally. So are you truly there? And that person is truly suffering because you're not 100% present with them. And I think that we try to use that as an scapegoat. Like, no, I haven't had an experience like that. But if you can be totally 100% open and honest with yourself, you know, the cheating starts in the mind, or the separation from that partner starts internally first before it manifests into the physical.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like my heart, like I've closed off my heart.
You've closed off
from the relationship when
Right.
I realized like, okay,
Right.
this is not, but holding on to the idea and that, like, it's the FOMO of like, well, I don't want to break up my family, you know, like maybe these different things will change. Like, but yeah, no, I feel like I closed my heart off probably like, my heart was probably closed in that relationship, probably at least the last 6 months.
Okay.
Like 6 months to a year.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's deep.
I guess it goes back to self-reflecting. Self-reflecting, because as you said, it starts in the mind.
Right.
I mean, so if you're thinking about it before you even putting the action to it,
right,
put your boundaries there. Like, yo, should I do this? Is it worth me doing this? Even if over here it's not even 100% dead, do I have enough respect for myself as a person to dead this situation before I even interact with my own desires?
Right. So the question essentially was like, basically, how do you govern yourself? Because we can be free in the mind, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's truly correct and right, because we are all energy-like beings, and whatever is happening internally within you is also happening on the outside of you. Now, you can get away with it, somebody with a lower emotional, intelligent frequency, because they're naive, they're ignorant to the fact of what's happening with you. But somebody like myself, who really feel other people's vibrations and energies, I know when the shit is off. I know when you're not present internally with me. I know when you somewhere else. So how do you balance the desire for new experiences with the need to nurture existing relationships? What that means is this: you're with someone, you're courting and you're connected with someone, but you're not truly there with them. You want to be somewhere else, doing something else with somebody else that you see yourself, oh, this muscle bound dude, or oh, this hot chick with the slim body, trim waist with the thick butt. Right? But your partner that you currently with is suffering because of FOMO, fear of missing out. So now you're in this process internally, but externally you're creating turmoil, you're creating dysfunction, you're creating chaos in a relationship. The question is how do you govern that? Or are we not governing that? Are we really just selfish and just open and just casting onto other vessels, right? But we already connected to somebody, because it says nurturing existing relationships.
So you good.
That's literally dragging somebody along, but you know you're not there and connected with them, and you're hurting them. You're actively hurting them. So how do you govern yourself and say, like you said, self-reflection? Do we got any other responses or answers to that?
Yeah, I've been since that's what it was. Since he said something about first, I've been having the feeling of like things like lust. You know what I mean?
Okay,
like control.
Lust
like
is definitely
lust,
a determining factor.
You know what I
this.
mean? Like,
so how do you balance that desire? Or do you allow it to run wild and rampant?
Yeah, me, I'd rather choose to balance that desire, you know what I mean? Because, like, it's like this in life, you know what I mean?
No, I'm saying, how do you?
How do I balance the desire?
Right.
No, less media, you know what I mean? Like I said, our minds are pretty strong depending on what you watch.
Less media.
I would say, no, depending on what, not less media per se, but yeah, that definitely helps, you know what I mean? Less media. I don't watch TV, you know, much at all. And less, depends on what your influence. Like you said, our mind is powerful. and really just balance it. Usually I balance it with yoga. I might do something more healthy for myself. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Something more positive.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like kind of tying back to what he said even too, it's like ain't nothing new under the sun. It's like, it's basically coming with age, especially having in a mature way and having like healthy sex. You know what I mean? At some point, it's really not about that. You know what I mean? Like,
hold on, wait a minute.
Like,
what's healthy sex? I'm curious.
To me, healthy sex.
I think some people in the crowd will understand that. What's healthy sex?
Okay.
Please help enlighten us.
All right. To me, healthy sex would be like, you know what I mean? Someone that you're not really like, though, of course, lusting over. Someone that you're only feeling like the vibrations, and is there mutual energy and understanding. And tying back to everything we even said today, you know what I mean? The things that someone being on the same board as you, like he said, I knew you wasn't listening to me. A girl that is with you, it just hits different. That's making love. You know, someone that's really right with you on that same frequency, have that common goal as you do, and you guys balance each other out. You know what I mean? And it just feels great. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
And,
okay.
But
I understand deeper now.
It could get deeper, but I
understand now. That true divine connection.
Amen.
I guess we get back to the question. You said balancing the desires and nurturing existing relationships. I guess, you know, as I said, self-reflecting, see where the seed started first. If you want to nurture your existing relationship, what made me start feeling like, all right, I'm finna go over here see what Miss Parker talking about. She be cutting that grass. Right. So let's figure out what's over here, because it started here first.
Right.
I mean, so that's the only way you could actually get some type of start balance.
So maybe feeling neglected in your relationship.
Yeah, so start not getting adults. Start at the home. Talk at the home first.
Effective communication.
Yeah, effective communication. Because if you go for your desires, as you said, it's just more turmoil.
Right.
I mean, it's nothing really fixed. Ain't nothing really even.
You're not fulfilled at all, whether in the mind or actively, physically participating in the act. So, and then, Karen, you got anything to say on it?
I mean, honestly, I just feel like it boils down to, are you in love with the person and are you loyal? Because if you're in love with someone, then you're not going to have thoughts or entertain anything else.
Right.
And if you're not in love with them, then what are you doing in a relationship?
Right. No, it's real talk. That's real talk. So, FOMO can manifest differently in various types of relationships, such as romantic, friendships, or family. Do you believe that FOMO is more prevalent in certain types of relationships? Why do you think that is, and how does it manifest differently?
That was a long question.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to that.
Next.
All right, let's break it down. Do you believe that FOMO is more prevalent in certain types of relationships?
Like with toxic minds?
It could be friends, family, romantic.
I don't know if it's in a certain type of relationship. I just feel like it's like in an individual. Like it comes back to not having control like over yourself.
Ooh, that's
mentally
deep. No control over
like,
self.
Because you could like it shows up in everything, not just in relationships.
Right.
Like, even like
it shows up in business, partnerships. It shows up in friendships. It shows up with family members, sister, brother, father, mother.
Yeah.
Not just romantic. I think people get it twisted when they believe that it's just isolated because I'm intimate with you and I feel like you less than or whatever, I'm gonna skip out. No, that shit translates over into all relationships.
Yeah.
So, and essentially, if you're not showing up in your intimate relationship correctly, then you won't show up in none of your relationships correctly. And that's real talk.
Mm-hmm.
Right or wrong? Or do anybody feel differently on the panel?
Man, Judy, you're a deep brother, bro.
Hey, man,
I don't feel different at all, brother.
I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Catch my brother. You just brought me back to life. I said, he was so deep. I was like, he said that. I said,
You're funny as shit.
Man.
So why do y'all think that is? And how does it manifest differently?
I think it depends on how it affect the individual. Like FOMO might affect you differently.
Right.
You might be able to handle better than I was.
Absolutely.
So I'm stepping in a relationship with the person, and I'm just pushing all this energy on them.
Right. Right. They not ready for it.
And I might not be ready for the energy that they bringing.
Right. That's deep. So, how do you navigate these different dynamics? And what have you found to be the most challenging?
I think I'm still learning on that right now. I mean,
and that's okay.
I guess you'll know when you meet the person, because certain individuals bring different type of sides out of you.
Right.
You know what I mean,
no, that's true. Absolutely.
Somebody might bring the bad side of you. Somebody might bring the greatness out of you. I mean, somebody you meet them and then you might be stuck with them too.
Right. What y'all think?
I would agree with him. How do you navigate the different dynamics?
And what have you found to be the most challenging? Remember this FOMO we talked about.
The different dynamics of the relationships of the different relationships.
Yeah, with surrounding FOMO.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to
Karen,
yeah.
Anastasia, y'all got anything?
I feel like I answered that question. I didn't just answer that question. How do I navigate the dynamics? How do I navigate the dynamics of like the challenges that surround FOMO within relationships?
Yeah.
Know thyself, like self-reflection, just like being aware of your shit, not projecting onto them, like understanding like this is a fear of my own. And I think it just goes back to like mindfulness. Like, do you know how to process your shit? Or are you just like, you don't know how to internally process it, so you just like fucking throw it on everybody else. Right. Like, I have this fear of missing out of this relationship because this, and this. And so you just projecting versus like, okay, I have this fear inside of me. I recognize this fear. Where is this fear coming from? Is it really logical? Like, let me think out, like, let me think, like going to like the worst case scenario, right? Like, this is the worst case scenario if this, like, if I really do miss out on this, like, right. I'm gonna be alone forever. I won't get married, da 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 da. Like, that's worst case scenario, right?
Right.
So what's the best case scenario? And like being able to weigh that out and like try to land somewhere like maybe like you won't get that 1,000% like best case scenario. I'm living on an island. I'm chilling.
But you also not going to destroy those relationships.
Yeah.
Like a percentage thing. Like a
ratio. It's like the worst is not going to happen either.
Right.
So it's like in your mind, just being able to level that shit out to like talk yourself off the motherfucking edge.
Off the edge.
Off the edge.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. and that's important because a lot of people are processing things in that way, or they're not even processing.
That's what I'm saying.
So now like they get themselves into a worse situation where now they've destroyed a relationship with somebody who is truly showing up and in the light with them because
of monkey mind, because they're just like, a thought comes up and they're just automatically just like reacting to that thought instead of responding.
Right. And it goes back to you, Karen, like, you know, when you meet somebody and then certain things come up, are these red flags truly red flags, or are they things that, you know, you can work through? Because you might miss out on a great person for the simple fact of you have these things that you holding to. Not saying that you're holding them to an unrealistic expectation, but who's to say? Because of maybe past traumas or things that you went through in the past. Now you like, oh, that's it. That's that shit I don't like. I gotta run.
Yeah.
Like
and this person could have been your
everything.
I don't like to use this, but I'm gonna use it in this context because I know a lot of people connect to it. Soulmate.
That part. That's a shit. Ooh.
And it happens
to me. Like, I feel like discernment. Having good discernment.
Discernment.
Yeah.
Right.
Discernment.
That's a word that's not often used, but I hold it so tightly and closely because it's everything to me.
And we gotta discernment. It's like, are you ready for it? Can you articulate that energy that's coming from that person? Because as you said, you bringing the red flags with you at the same time because you throwing it. You seen something like, oh yeah, red flag right there. You might miss your soulmate. And when you miss it, they're going to come back around again. Are you ready again this time? Can you actually handle this energy this time? You might miss it again. Because this time you sound another red flag. Like, there you go.
Yeah, that can happen.
And I just feel too, like, are you really missing out on anything whenever you're just like, you make a choice? And so like that, it's like just, I guess, just making peace with your life, right? Like, I don't feel like I've ever missed out on anything is the thing. I feel like I've experienced everything I needed to experience thus far.
Okay.
And I feel like that'll continue. I think it just goes back to having faith, like to help ease that fear too. It's just like being like, having faith that like everything is working out in my favor.
Everything's working for you.
Yeah.
Instead of against you, right. I share that same thought process and understanding.
Because the outcome going to be different.
Right.
That's what you're really fearing.
So let's go in a little bit deeper, right? So can y'all share a specific instance where FOMO affected one type of a relationship more than another? And how did you handle it?
As you said, like, it's not always got to be about relationships. It could be about a group of friends.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I thought I had a brotherhood with a group that we used to own parties out here and could have been big, but everybody was a fear of what if, like, yo, who gonna be really running it? Or are you gonna be the head of this, or we gonna be the head of this? So everybody just split apart and said, like, you know what, let's just all come together and just continue forward. So it's like fearing of this leaving certain people behind just so you can see your own greatness at the same time.
Okay.
So I was just bringing that example. It's like, you know, it could be a brotherhood, a friend circle. Y'all all been hanging tight every day.
Right.
But you feeling like, okay, if I just continue moving forward and going for what I want, they not going to like me no more. They ain't going to have the same love for me no more. They going to talk down about me no more. So I'm going to stay with them.
Right.
Instead of move forward. So.
Right. You're going to hinder and hold yourself back because everybody else ain't growing with you. You was about to say something.
I was gonna say, I you know what? So something just dawned upon me. I have a fear of missing out, like with my family. Like most of my family live in Oklahoma. Like a lot of my siblings are out in Texas, and sometimes I'm like, and I'm not the only one out here, but kind of basically.
Right.
And sometimes I'm like, dang, like my nephew just had a birthday party, or like, you know, my family is massive and we're very like family oriented.
Close,
so very, very close. And I call them all the time. I talk to them all the time. But and I think that sometimes that's why I'm like, I want to move out to Texas, because I'm like, my mom's out there. And so I have this fear. And then now she's getting back surgery. And now I'm like, you know, like have this fear that I'm going to miss out on time with my family and my mom, or that I'm not going to be able to, like, all of the work that I've done it because of my family, and I would like to like share with them and help them as well. And but I'm out here. So
no, that's definitely that's prevailing amongst the community.
So yeah, like fear of missing out of time, like of time and connections and experiences with my family.
Right.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Karen, you got anything?
No.
You good? All right, so we're going to go into our last commercial break here. And then when we come back, we got just two more questions, and then we'll open up the floor for everybody for a Q&A.
Are you ready to transform your life while building the body you've always dreamed of? Introducing the Alpha Body Battalion Compensation Plan, a groundbreaking opportunity that will revolutionize the way you earn and empower you to reach your financial goals.
Imagine a world where your passion for fostering a healthy, active lifestyle and your desire for financial abundance seamlessly align. With the Alpha Body Battalion Success Share System, your hard work and dedication will be rewarded like never before.
Our compensation plan offers a multitude of benefits, including generous commissions, bonuses, and exciting incentives. Earn money while sharing your love for fitness, and watch your income grow exponentially. Thanks to the compensation plan, I've been able to leave my 9-to-5 job and focus on building my dream fitness business full-time. The support and mentorship I receive from Alpha Body Battalion community have been invaluable. It's like having a whole team cheering me on. Don't miss out on this life-changing opportunity. Join the Alpha Body Battalion today and unlock your true potential. the Alpha Body Battalion Compensation Plan, where fitness meets financial freedom. It's a no-brainer. Act now and seize the opportunity to create the life you deserve.
In a world full of possibilities, sometimes all we need is a fresh start. Alpha Body Supplements is your gateway to better nutrition, true leadership, and real opportunity, offering high-quality supplements and expert guidance. More than just a company, we're a community that uplifts and empowers. We believe in creating generational wealth and a lasting legacy for future generations. Join us on this journey of transformation and opportunity. Alpha Body Supplements. Your path to a brighter, healthier future starts here.
Elevate your meals with Primal Complete Protein, a powerful plant-based blend packed with 20 grams of protein and enriched with our exclusive superfruit blend. Simply add to your favorite recipes for a delicious and nourishing boost. Primal Complete Protein. Elevate your meals. Elevate your life.
All right, welcome back to the P.U.S.H podcast. Let's go ahead and wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. So, reflecting on your experiences with FOMO, which can negatively impact mental health and well-being, what advice would you give someone struggling with similar feelings in their relationships? And how can they begin to shift their mindset to find peace?
I'll say my first advice would be control the things that you worry about, the things that you can control, and don't worry about the things you can't. Right. Because when you focus on stuff that's out of your control, it gets crazy. You get lost in your path of finding yourself. You could adopt a fake personality, a fake persona of somebody else just because you're chasing that image that they have. Right. Or whatever venue or avenue FOMO is actually presented in your life. Right. I say really just tune in with yourself, self-reflecting, jogging, working out, having a good brotherhood or sisterhood connection where sometimes other people advice and opinions of what you got going on could shed light to your situation. Right. You know what I mean, it depends on their maturity level of how they handle it or when you bring certain things up to them. Right. Because not everybody, advice is good advice. So
absolutely. Real talk. It's something that I probably thought I started to hear you say earlier. You know what I mean? When it comes, like, I feel like you start to say, you know what I mean, back to the basic needs, you know what I mean, of a human being, actually, you know what I mean, when it comes to a human being, you know what I mean, when it comes to happiness per se, my opinion, you know what I mean, not even my opinion, food, water, shelter, sense of family, sense of aka belonging, but that's what FOMO with us play in that last part there, aka sense of belonging, sense of family, which is a human need, the three of happiness, you know what I mean, which is essential to what we really need, you know what I mean? Everything else is usually mostly programmed, you know what I mean? And at some point, whether we like want more, but it comes back to just make sure you have that basis and being content. Actually healing yourself, actually loving yourself, actually doing natural things that make you actually feel good. Mm-hmm. Not what you think makes you good for the media tells you this is going to feel good for you and get yourself used to that. You know what I mean? Programmed to that. But genuinely makes you as a human being feel really good in the highest you ever get high. You know what I mean? Whether that be walking through a park, whether that be yoga, whether that be seeing a little kid smile because you just something nice for them, whether that be, etc. I feel like once we start really tapping back to those natural things, you know what I mean, step by step, getting back to the basics of humanity things, then we can increase even more happiness and do the things that we per se want to do, but in a positive way, because you're already satisfied and content with things that you know that you need to do, and you're okay with that. Then the wants and the needs for whatever it is, sometimes it can be a greater purpose. I feel like then that can be a great pursuit of happiness. You know what I mean? Not you being a slave to certain things, do's and don'ts. You have to get this, have to get that. Like at that point, you might as well not, like you said, might as well not even be yourself. Like you might as well be a robot. You know what I mean? But to be free and the basic needs of happiness, food, family, water, shelter, sense of family, aka belonging. You know what I mean? But that's where FOMO does play in at the same time. But it won't play in as much if it still comes back to you focusing and loving yourself firstly, and then you go from there, setting up the boundaries, learning from your experiences, I would say, and just literally just healing and self-loving yourself, and then you should be able to fly from there.
Right.
Because at some point, that's what it naturally was. So if it comes back to that, even that question have to be asked like that to find that peace, because it goes to show to get back to that peace. I forgot how I was trying to finish that, but at that point, FOMO wouldn't even matter no more. You've been through FOMO, you came back. You had to learn the experience, you know what I mean? So it wouldn't scratch you. I would say to sum this all up for what we talked about earlier, so that negativity won't scratch you as you even be in that full light. You know what I mean? So sometimes we did have to go through FOMO, but it's about everything about life we have to go through and experience. Right. But it's about coming out of FOMO, because we all go through it. We all have been through it in various and different ways, situations, different relationships, people per se, I would say.
Right. No,
that makes sense.
Absolutely. Know thyself, so that you don't get sucked into societal norms, so that you don't get sucked into comparing yourself to others, and just focus more so on your own personal journey. I got you. Karen, you got something on this?
Yeah. I mean, I'm ex-military, so I'm a little bit more hardcore. So my advice isn't always like the best, but gosh, like if I could go back and tell myself, like back when I was engaged, I'm like, well, I gotta get married. Everyone else is getting married. Everyone else is getting married and buying a house, right? It really, my advice to people would be like, stop having that fear of missing out, and worry about yourself. And you should have your own set of goals for life, and just stop worrying about and focus about anything. Because if you set a path for your own life of like, I'm going to finish college, if you own a business, I'm going to grow my business, I'm going to try to get this promotion at work. People come and go. I mean, people get divorced, people break up, people pass away, and you got to make sure that whenever something happens and it doesn't go as planned, I mean, people get married and then, like I said, they get divorced after a few years, or someone passes away. Maybe you were with them for 40 years and pass away. You got to make sure that your own self is good. You know, you got to make sure, what do you want in your life to create that happiness? You know, you don't want to look back and regret. Like, so for me, I spent all this time with this man that wasn't the right one for me, but I was like, well, we love each other and we already booked the venue. It's like, it was a waste of time, because I just, you know, as a girl, you see on social media, everyone getting married in these pretty wedding dresses, and they're buying these houses, and they're getting the nice cars and the family vacation. You're like, I want that. And those people might not even be happy for all we know. So
that's the truth. Right. Yep. That's the one. What about you, Anastasia?
Basically everything that they've already said.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like for me, like just taking care of myself, like taking baths, going on walks, yoga, working out. Like all of those things that I do to take care, drinking my tea, those little things, like they help calm my mind. And when my mind is calm and not so chaotic, then, you know, I'm not so susceptible of being like to fall victim of like that fear, you know? So I feel like that's the biggest thing that you can do, which is what everybody said, is like, take care of yourself, you know, don't
love that stuff.
Just,
Right. So with that being said, taking care of yourself, right? Let's stay on that. So what practice or habits have you personally adopted to mitigate the effects of FOMO and cultivate a more fulfilling life? I know I heard some things about yoga, drinking your tea. Let's throw some more out there. What things are y'all currently doing personally to help you to pour more into yourself, so you're not being sucked into the world and comparing yourself to others and falling victim to FOMO?
I think too, like surrounding yourself with the right people.
Right. People.
like different things are going to come up, and sometimes you can't process it yourself. Sometimes like your mind is just fucking with you so bad, and it's like you hear all this chatter and all these other voices that aren't even yours. But having a wise counsel or a wise like group of friends to talk about it with, like it helps so much. Like they can bring like a grounding to you, you know, like you can get lost in the chaos of the mind.
Let's stay on that a little bit real quick. So you said having a good group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say for those who are listening out there, right, would be considered a good group of friends? Because we have friends around us, right, who bad influence.
can literally pull you off your path and have you out here doing some shit you ain't got no business doing, or literally wasting your life and wasting your time. So, Anastasia, I'm asking you personally, for those who are listening, inquiring minds, what would you consider to be a good group of friends to listen to help you stay on your journey and your path of becoming who you truly want to be?
Well, the biggest thing is like, like, do they walk in the light? Do they walk so people say different things, right? But how does their life look?
How does their life look?
Is it a life that, like, I'm like, oh, this is inspirational.
A life that you would consider you want to live for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Or are they living a life that you like, hell no, I don't want your life.
Or you like if
your life
their words matching their actions.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah. Their words matching their actions.
Are their words matching the actions?
And then also like, I say like real ones that are going to tell you how it is no matter what. Like even if it's something like you're like, it's not the funnest thing to hear or the nicest thing to say, but it's just like, hey, you fucking up. Just an FYI, you should do this. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry.
No, you good. Go ahead. Yeah. We want it.
But yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah. And I like friends that like care deeply, you know, and they show that through their actions.
Through the actions.
You know, I've been blessed to. I guess I've had different experiences, and I've been able to figure out like, who are the people I want in my life, and like who are the people like I'm like, you're cool, like we see each other, like hi, I want the best for you, but I'm not gonna have you in my inner circle.
Right, in the inner circle, right, influencing you.
Exactly.
Right, because they're not showing up in their life the way that you want to show up in your own personal life. That's extremely important, you know. Surround those around you that are living and you know, doing the things that you wish to see for yourself. And if they aren't in direct alignment with what you currently are doing or exceeding what you're doing, then probably you shouldn't take advice or listen to those people, because they can't advise you on anything except for things to have you ended up like them, because that's what they experience. That's what they know to be true.
I think it's just like that discernment, like recognizing like, okay, is this something that I'm going to like take your advice on, or I'm going to have good discernment and just be like, actually, like,
no,
I don't really like how that's going for you.
Looking in your backyard, it's a little dirty.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Mine's a little cleaner, so maybe I need to advise you on how to clean your backyard up, because mine is a little bit more cleaner than yours.
In reality, but I know better to even go down that route with someone who doesn't even understand. You know, I get it.
Right? No, absolutely.
So
I think that's extremely important. You know, to recognize the counsel that you seek around you. Because too often we get hung up on believing and thinking that people are in our best interest that are close to us, but are truly not. They're truly not. And not in a sense of they may be bad people, but in a sense of like, you only know what you only know.
Yeah.
You only know what you've experienced. You know what I'm saying? Like, too often do you get sucked into situations with parents who say, oh, you need to be a nurse, or you need to be a construction worker, or you need to be a police officer. And you like, but that's not my life and what I want. They don't mean bad. They want what's best for you, but it's the advice that they're truly giving, serving you in a light to where you're going to be happy and fulfilled if you take that advice and you apply it to your life. Now, that is extremely important to understand that. You can have people in your life that truly want better for you, but they don't know what they don't know. And what they don't know can and will hurt you in your own personal life. So you have to take personal responsibility. You have to do the self-reflection, and you have to ask yourself, what is it that I truly want for my life?
Self-accountability.
And also hold yourself accountable and hold others accountable around you. Because if what they're doing is not showing up the way that you wish and what you want to see, then you must separate, or you must keep them at arm's length, right? Because if they're continuously pouring into you things that you don't want for your life, then that's draining. And also that's misleading. So essentially, those who you may see like, yeah, you love me, mom, you love me, dad, or you love me, friend, but they truly can't even show up for you the best because they only in the process that they're in. They only know what they know. For me, for example, I'm not going to go to an Amazon worker and ask them, hey, I want to be a millionaire. How do I make $1 million? You only making $15 an hour. If you knew how to make $1 million, you wouldn't be here pushing these boxes. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
That can be your best friend.
Literally.
But they are a box pusher. So I'm not going to go to a box pusher and say, hey, how do I make $1 million? I'm going to find a millionaire. I'm going to find somebody that's making more money than me and say, hey, how do I get to that level? Mm-hmm. And then once I get there, I'm going to find somebody else that's a little bit higher. How do I get to, hey, advise me.
Exactly.
Right? That makes sense to me. So to piggyback off what Anastasia said, absolutely. Have that support system, but make sure it's the right support system. That's nurturing and fostering the space for the life that you want.
That part.
Right?
That part.
Y'all agree with that or yes or no?
I totally agree. 100%. To be honest, 100%. Like, hit the nail on that one.
All right. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and we're going to open up the floor for Q&A. Is there anybody in the crowd that have any questions for our guests here on the panel or on Zoom? We got one right here in the front.
Hi. Actually, I have a question for all of you.
Come on with
it. So how do you guys feel about when you're in a relationship, family intervening or family criticizing your relationship or being negative in the relationship, like putting an input kind of? Like going off of like friends and family and like butting in kind of like a negative way.
I say before you take their advice, you look at their own relationships. How well is that going for them?
Ooh, deep.
Okay.
Because misery loves company.
Deep.
Especially friends and family. They don't like seeing people happy. Especially they never even got a chance to even grasp that before. Or even if they did, they lost it because they was listening to somebody else, so they want you to be part of them.
Ooh,
I
too
felt
deep.
That.
Too deep.
I felt that.
I would say that as well as gauging how much palpable evidence would this person possibly have. Gauge how much connectivity they have and how much knowledge they would even insights they would even have. Because a lot of times it depends on how close you keep people, how close the person is. A lot of times the person, like most of the time, more commonly it'd be the people I notice that are not even as close to you or not even, I can't explain it, not as even as intimate, giving you that advice about your intimate thing. You know what I mean? Because sometimes usually it's a boundary there naturally, especially if you are that intimate with the person, like the family, not your relationship. If you get what I'm saying. But how much knowledge is that person just talking out the side of their neck sometimes? You know what I mean? Me personally, I'm gonna give you an example. Me personally, I wish the MF would speak on my relationship. You know what I mean? Because you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just be like this. It's not even gonna mean anything to me, but you know what I mean? It comes to different levels of understanding. You know what I mean? Everything making it make sense. Like you said, advice. Judge who's giving you that advice. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And judge how deep is their love to you, and you'll know, because advice is great, especially if they are your real lovers. Especially when you find out who really loves you. They're further, like I said earlier about something, they're for your best interest. They only love you. So they're going to want to give you that certain type of advice. You know what I mean? It comes with keeping a clear conscience and mind still too. And if that person has a clear conscience and mind, you feel me?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You'll be all right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I think you should just keep your relationship private so that people don't try to intervene. And
that's number one.
You know, you don't
that's
need
a big one.
You don't need to go tell everyone every time he does something where he messed up.
Keep your relationship private, because
Unless
you don't know who listening, who have motives, right? And too often, it's a saying that my coach used to say back in LA. He said, loose lips sink ships. Because I secretly want you anyway. The best friend, right?
Hey, give me more.
That happened to me before. And it's
the best friend, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, what your partner did? Oh, yeah, your partner ain't shit. You need to leave that sorry motherfucker.
And it's crazy. It's like they'll do that. They'll do that. And
right or wrong.
Right, Judge.
The person will come run back and tell you everything they did said about you. Like, nah, not my mans. What?
Nah,
because they ain't looking out for your best interest anyway. So you got to understand that. Are you spilling the beans to somebody who truly care? and who's truly in your corner and wants to see that relationship thrive because they see that you love the person? Or are you spilling the beans to somebody who's just hanging on to every negative thing, not giving you any self-reflection, right?
That part.
They ain't saying about you did anything wrong. All they saying is yeah, that person ain't shit. That person is, that person that person that. Red flag. Because a real friend is going to say, hold on, wait a minute. What did you do?
Precisely. Yep.
Hold on. All right. I don't even want to hear what your partner did. I don't really know your partner.
Exactly.
How did you show up?
What role you played in the scene?
Then we can go into what they did. So I need the full picture because the reality is this. When you have somebody in your, that's an outsider that's looking in on your relationship, if they're not coming full circle with you, then they're not in your best interest because they need to get the full picture in order to give you right counsel. Does that make sense? If they just listening to you talk your shit about your partner and they ain't asked you nothing about what you did, you don't need to receive counsel from that person at all. Yeah, because how can they advise you correctly?
Look, even colder women, especially if they didn't even know, even if they don't even know your partner, that's where it gets sick.
How can they advise you correctly when the whole situation been one-sided from the jump? Right? Damn, so for everybody that's listening, that is a major red flag for somebody that's close to you that claim to be your best friend, your homie, your partner, whatever. Because for me, how I show up for my friends, I come real raw and true and correct. I'm going to listen to, what happened to you, your traumas and what you went through, and this person dragged you through the mud. All right, yeah, I understand that. Okay, what did you do? Hold on, wait a minute. No, real talk. What did you do? Because I hear what this person is doing, but I need to get your side of the bullshit too so that I can see clearly how to navigate and advise you correctly before you destroy something that you wish you never destroyed. And then you looking at me because I gave you the wrong advice, right?
Exactly.
Because I told you to lead a person, but I didn't even know that this person was really, truly good for you. Because all I'm hanging on is to what? The negativity that you're pushing.
Literally.
You're upset. You're in your emotions. The situation just happened. Wait a minute. Slow it down. Okay, run me through scenario by scenario. Run me through the whole situation. Now I can advise you correctly. So for everybody that's listening on this, when you have somebody that's coming to you and they're leading with that type of energy, you need to hold that person at bay. You need to have your shield up, your guard up, because that person is not good for you. Because what they're doing is they're supporting your bullshit. They supporting the fuckery.
That makes sense.
How can you show up and be a better person if you got people around you that's enabling your bullshit? Please understand me and listen to me when I tell you this. How can you be, do, and have whatever you want when you got people around you that's literally building a false reality in your face? They don't give a shit about you because they know at the end of the road is destruction for you. Right or wrong? They not in a relationship, so they don't want your ass in a relationship. So when you come to them talking about your relationship, they ain't got nothing but negative to say about your relationship.
Precisely.
And guess what? In 0.25 seconds, your ass gonna be alone at the bar drinking with they single unhappy ass.
Regret. One of the worst things, regret.
Talking about, I was in a relationship. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. 12 o'clock calling that same person that broke up with you like, I miss you. Look, man.
Right. Now you on the dummy roll, doubling back, talking about, oh, I made a mistake. Can we get back together?
Baby, come back.
Come on.
I'll feel you, Judah.
We got any other questions in the crowd?
I think everyone's going to go home and self-reflect tonight. Like, damn.
Self-reflect tonight.
Man.
That's what I'm pushing. Self-reflection around here.
Dude. Like,
real talk. We got any more questions from the crowd? That's it. All right. So I want to say thank you to all our guests for sharing their insight and personal experiences on FOMO and its impact on relationships. We hope that this episode has provided you valuable perspectives and advice for our listeners. Remember, it's important to be mindful on how FOMO influences our decisions
and to prioritize the present moment and genuine connections. Join us next time for another thought-provoking discussion on the P.U.S.H podcast. Until next time, I'm your host, Lost Judah. Peace.